little bit. We in here grooving. Grooving. What? Hey.
Man,
hey.
if I had the juice, I'd play my music.
That's right. What's up, people? Come one, come all. Welcome to Blurred AF. I am the homie Bluminati. That is Mika G. Cheese. We are missing one. Dre should be in. Dre said he's gonna be in a little bit later, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Dre being a little bit later. How everybody doing? How is everybody doing? What y'all up to, man? What the chat looking like that? Xavier Phoenix, what's up? Torian in the building. Andre, what it do? Yeah, man, we finna get to. We gonna talk to her. I kind of just want to joke tonight. I kind of just want to have fun and not really even take it too serious. You know what I'm saying? James McD said he ain't even on Twitter no more. It ain't about what he said. It's just him talking. We'll get into it. It's just because he don't just be on Twitter. He be everywhere. He be on Twitter. He be on Threads. Wherever you know what I'm saying. He respond to you on anything. I think he might be on MySpace still.
Not on MySpace.
He might still be out here on MySpace. He might hit you up on AOL Messenger or something. You say the wrong thing. Hit one of them chat rooms.
ASL.
Yeah, ASL. What you know about the ASL?
Come on, we're about the same damn age.
Oh, not the ASL. What y'all know about that ASL, y'all?
Y'all know nothing about that ASL.
Y'all don't know about that ASL. What? ASL is crazy. You wild for that. You go, what is going on?
What happened?
But just my other screen froze up a little bit. So, everybody, happy. Well, if you celebrated, happy 4th. I'll say that. You know, a lot of people don't like to use Independence Day. You know what I'm saying? Some people just say happy 4th. Either one. Oh, snap. Dark in there, dog. I ain't even gonna add him yet till he get right. But yeah, happy 4th. Happy 4th. How was your 4th, Mika?
All right, so I'm one of the people that don't celebrate. So I just spent the whole day watching movies. That's all I did. Okay. Actually, wait. Oh yeah, that's all I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up.
Happy pre-Halloween, y'all.
Torrance said happy 2.5 weeks after Juneteenth.
I say happy pre-Halloween.
I feel that.
So yeah, I watched a lot of
movies.
Yeah, I watched a lot of horror movies.
Comfort movies.
Comfort movies.
That's right, horror movies. She was in the horror game. You know what? That's what I want to talk about. Not necessarily horror movies, but you brought up like comfort movies and things of that nature. I want to know your defining movies for when you started watching, like 80s. You started like, yeah. So what's your defining 80s movies? What's your defining 90s movies? So forth and so on. And we could wait till Drake get in, or you can talk if you want. You can either do one. Give me a top 5 for each decade. How about that?
I ain't got no top 5. I'll give you one. No top 5.
Oh. Or just give me the ones that might have defined who you are for that decade.
Okay.
Whether it's multiple, whether it's one.
I definitely say Purple Rain probably defined me as far as like loving music and things like that. So I'll start with Purple Rain. The 90s definitely I'm gonna go with House Party.
Ooh, okay now.
Because I wanted so badly to be like, hey, next time mom and daddy go out of town, we throwing a party, but I ain't know nobody.
That's right.
I knew nobody.
Ooh.
I say after that was probably actually it was like House Party and Tales from the Hood at the same time, because we used to watch. Me and my siblings used to watch that all the time. And I mean, when I say you all the time, like all the time, like we was quoting it, we'd be like, cut this. You go, obviously we couldn't cut. Be like, cut the. And then shut the. And my mom be like, what are y'all talking about? Never mind.
That's not ad-libbing yourselves.
2000s. That's when I started. Oh man, my comfort movie at that time was You Got Served.
You got served. Oh man. Say what now? Not you got served. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey, we all laugh at you got served, but you got served caught major play. Every household that I know, you got served was on rotation.
You got served.
You know what I'm saying? So
the DVD probably was broke.
Yeah, we laugh at it, but nah, you got served. It went platinum in the hood. You know what I'm saying? It went platinum in the hood, no doubt.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought I could be a part of a dance crew. And actually, real talk, I was part of a dance crew when I lived in Colorado. So I was not a B2K fan. I just like I like the dance crew part of it.
Mika was probably an immature fan.
I was an immature fan.
See,
I had Romeo's posters on my wall.
There you go.
Yo, we just had this. Me and Mika has been going.
Man, don't you bring up that sorry ass song.
We've been talking about.
Don't bring that sorry.
No, we are going to bring it up.
What song is it? I Will Never Lie.
No.
We got it.
No.
What is
it? I was talking about the songs that used to have me in a chokehold as 14-year-old Dre Mac. Baby, Please Don't Go. The video.
That ain't even the name of the song.
I'm talking about Watery Face. Watery Face. Every time I see that video, don't go. But so I listen to I me just doing my music thing. I listen to that song over and over again. It's whatchamacallit that's off key. It's Marquez Houston. When you listen to it, Marquez Houston is the one who's off key.
Why are you calling him Marquez? His name is Marcus.
Marquez. There's a Q in there. He's Marquez.
Houston.
Marquez.
Marquez.
Oh, Marquez. Marquez Houston. But no, you listen to the song. I was listening to the hook. I'm like, what is Mika talking about? What is Mika talking? I said, ooh, I hear it. Because I think he was emotional. So you can hear the
No, he wasn't emotional. He was going through puberty, and he thought that he could still hit his notes. And they was like, "Man, we gonna let this slide, bro."
They should have been like, "Go home, Roger."
But you know what the song? The basis of that song is about. You know what I mean? So I think it's a mix. I think it's a mix of probably puberty, but you can tell he's trying to hit a note, and the note ain't note.
Yeah, like he was trying to hit that high note on side, and it sounds like he dying.
And everybody's sharp. Everybody's sharp. You know what I mean? Like I was like, ugh.
Marcus,
what's the song? Can you feel the flavor? Is that what the song was
Feel
called?
the funk.
Feel the funk.
See, I love Feel the Funk because that was still young baby Marcus Houston, even though it ended up on We Got It. That was still baby, like before his voice changed, Marcus Houston. Because if you listen to the whole CD of We Got It, and trust me, I already did it because I was in my immature phase right now on Spotify. I listened to it from beginning to end, and I also posted it on my Instagram my Instagram story. But if you listen to We Got It is grown Marcus.
Not grown
if you
Marcus.
listen to Pager, that's grown Marcus. If you listen to Please Don't Go, that's Marcus fighting puberty.
Marcus was fighting a lot that was going on right there. He was, because of the basis of the song, what the song is about his mother, and he's fighting a lot besides puberty. You can tell. But he was also fighting that damn note, being sharp, and nobody said, "Hey man, you're a little too sharp on that note." You know what I'm saying? You know, let's bring it down a notch. Nah, we gonna be sharp.
And the only reason why Feel the Funk ended up on We Got It was because Feel the Funk was originally on Dangerous.
That's what I knew. It was on the soundtrack.
It was on the soundtrack first. Dangerous Minds.
Minds.
It was on Dangerous Minds first, and that's why Feel the Funk is at the end of We Got It. The rest of the rest of the CD is grown Marcus Houston, except for him fighting on Please Don't Go. But the rest of it is grown. It's still grown Marcus, like Lover's Groove. That was the first time that's the first time we got to hear LDB say some words.
What was that? That was during the IMX days, though, right?
No, they were still immature.
They were still immature. I went and downloaded those albums just to listen to them. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, yikes.
I've never heard. I
Yikes.
never heard this. Oh yeah, I heard it because of you. By Marcus.
The only reason why it's yikes because I'm not 14-year-old. I'm a 14-year-old Dre back no more.
No,
and
it's
some of those songs are sung so horribly. I'm sorry.
They work for the time, but that's why they ain't on tour right now.
I mean, they also split up too. Like,
yeah, they split up a long time ago.
LBD or what's his name?
Little Drummer Boy. You had it right. LBD.
Yeah. He I think he had a stroke. I saw. I think he had a stroke. He looked bad.
Know that.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just know that Romeo's doing his own thing. Marcus.
He's already getting blasted about messing with that girl. You know what I'm saying? So
who, Marcus?
You know, the one he married.
Oh yeah. Now they're divorced.
Oh yeah, they divorced.
Yeah, they got a divorce. So and then there was an article where he was like, "Oh, I don't date women that got kids because they got that's too much baggage." I was like, "Welcome to the baggage club."
Now you are baggage.
Now you're baggage.
Exactly. Yeah. But keep going, Mickey. You said immature. What that was 90? No, 2000.
You got third with
2000.
2000. Early 2000s.
Yeah. So
and then
I'm surprised I ain't heard no horror yet. I'm surprised.
I'm just saying. Well, I had horror comfort movies in. I watched a lot of Stay Alive. I watched a lot of House on Haunted Hill. I watched a lot of Dawn of the Dead remake. And that was after my first kid was born. I watched Dawn of the Dead remake. The Ring was my comfort movie. Actually, can we go back to the 80s and the 90s? 80s/90s. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Take your time.
Take your time, make it now, hack.
But no, I could go on and on. I mean, it starts getting more horror the more I get older. So like now we're like right now, Sinners is my comfort movie. Like I will turn it on and work, but still be listening. You know. Still, or every once in a while, just stop and be like, "Oh yeah, I remember. I like this scene. I want to watch this one." But yeah,
I should have asked you TV shows also. I should have asked you that too, but don't worry about that.
Honestly, I didn't watch a lot of TV.
Nah, not even back then. I could see like.
Like when I was younger, yeah. When I was younger, I watched a lot of like Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I thought you were about to say Facts of Life or something like that.
I watched Facts of Life too. I watched Facts of Life. I watched. I didn't watch different. I didn't get to watch Different Strokes until it ended up on Nick at Night.
Oh, you missed it. That okay.
But I was watching like Three's Company.
Yeah.
Hey,
Cheers.
look, Laverne and Shirley, Three's Company, man.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Mork and Mindy. Yeah, Mork and Mindy.
I watched Mork and Mindy. Yeah.
7-year-old me used to get in front of my black and white TV. Boy, I watched some Nanu. Shit, I was about my Nanu.
Small Wonder, Punky Brewster, all that.
And Small Wonders was Megan before Megan. Let's just keep it. Let's keep it a G.
This is true.
They kept her in the closet above the bed. So yeah, she was Megan before Megan.
And of course, I did watch black shows too, y'all. Okay, I just throw that out.
We know, Mick. We talk about that all the time. What about
Green
you, Dre?
Acres was the shit.
Decade.
You already know what my 80s comfort TV show was.
Because it's 80s, 90s, all the way up until now. What's your
So of course for the 80s for TV it was Knight Rider. Whenever I could watch Knight Rider, or I could catch Michael Jackson's videos, any Michael Jackson video. If I could catch, especially if I could catch Beat It and Billie Jean, I was set for the day.
It's crazy how much rotation they had, even going into like the 90s. How much rotation, you know what I'm saying?
On VH1.
But back then all you had was MTV. All you had was MTV. In 80s, all you had was MTV, and then BET kind of, you know what I'm saying, started growing by 88.
80,
like
88.
BET, because I remember watching Midnight Love with my auntie, and she have her wine, and she be listening to Midnight Love. You know what I'm saying? So, but for the 80s,
VH1 dropped it in 85.
But it wasn't as large as MTV.
Oh, it wasn't in your,
as far
it
as,
wasn't
like,
in your house,
cable.
but it was in the
It wasn't
Gaddy
on-
house.
Yeah, well, it could have been. It wasn't
on all cable packages.
Yeah, I was about to say
It
could have
was
been
in our
regional.
house.
Because we had in, because I remember my aunt and uncle was 86. They had American Cablevision. So all we had was the little box that was wooden with the buttons
Yep.
that you push, and
Boom.
the
Yep.
MTV stayed.
Yeah,
MTV.
I
So
had
I
that.
think it's regional.
I had the slider.
Yeah,
I ain't had
it
that
was
either.
probably. I
Cable
think it was
slider.
probably regional because I'm in the Midwest, so the Midwest and probably the South had something. East Coast probably had something as far as like that whole East Coast line probably had their own. The West Coast probably had their stuff, so it probably was different. Because like I said, this is how I watched a lot of Chicago-based stuff because we got broadcast WGN. So, which is weird. Yeah. So I mean, so I will wake up, I'll watch the 20-minute workout, then Zoobly Zoo before
I was about to say Zoobly Zoo.
Man, watching Zoobly Zoo with Ben Vereen, boy.
That was my
man. So give me some.
You want to talk about top 10 theme songs? Zoobly Zoo.
Oh yeah. and then hold on. Let me not be on school break because I'm watching some Eureka's Castle. Watching some what was the Pinwheel? Like, oh man, some Pinwheel spin me around. Oh man, you know what I mean? So all the the classic Nickelodeon shows, but 90s came around. It was like X-Men Animated Adventure. Oh, movies was most definitely horror for me. So because my auntie had a bunch of horror stuff. Give me one. Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Okay. Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Which somebody said was worse than Nightmare on Elm Street 5.
What was worse than Nightmare on Elm Street 5? Wait a minute. What?
5 was what?
5 was 90.
Warriors.
Dream Warriors?
Dream Warriors. No, No, 5 was the Dream
Child.
Yeah, Dream Warriors.
They said Dream Child was better than Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
They're smoking crack. Is it the crack?
Dream Child was
4.
No, that's 5. Dream Child is 5. 4 was Dream Warriors.
Sorry, you're right.
I'm just trying to remember what it.
It was the one. It's because you get into Freddy's backstory about his mother being a nun. His mother was R-worded by everybody in the. It's a freaky covenant or whatever,
He did like the.
It wasn't a freaky covenant. His mother got raped by 1,000 maniacs.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, it's kind of a freaky covenant that was going on.
That is a freaky covenant. 1,000 maniacs.
1,000? That was like, you know what? We gonna take her.
She worked at an insane asylum, and there's all these crazy people there, and they were doing the count. And the only reason why I remember this is because
1,000 of them got her though. That's wild. 1,000.
Hey, that's what they said. He is the son of 1,000 maniacs.
That's crazy.
She survived.
You know how long that line?
Yeah, like
that ain't funny.
It ain't funny, but I'm with you, Dre. Like what? 1,000?
Just think about taking a ticket.
I guess
you're 197.
I guess that's what the kids were teasing him. There was like 1,000 maniacs, but nobody really knows.
I don't think it was 1,000. I don't really think it's 1,000, but that's the name that
she was accidentally locked in there with them, and she got raped. So yeah. I mean, great.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So so Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and Child's Play. Child's Play ended going into my 90s. So I watched Child's Play like over and over again. And Blood Diner. So yeah, Blood Diner was my stuff. Greatest B-rated movie of all time because it's so stupid. Then the 90s, 90s was different because I was going into preteens. So 90s was different because like Power Rangers, Batman the animated series, X-Men the animated series, Spider-Man the animated series. You know what I'm saying? Then the Disney lineup with Tailspins, Darkwing Duck, Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers, all of that. Man, then Tiny Toon Adventures, Animaniacs. I'm trying to tell you, I think it
was crazy.
The 90s was hot when it came to television. Then let's not get into Martin. You know what I'm saying?
Living Single.
Fresh Prince. I mean, we Family Matters and all of that was
Family Matters. Step by Step. All of them was good. I mean, 90s, they were just throwing everything out.
I mean, I get an 80s. I get an 80s as props because I was still watching Silver Spoon. I was still watching Facts of Life. I was watching what's Roger? What Roger and them? What is it?
Why I can't think of the name right now?
I can't think of the name. Oh my God!
With my guy on there, man, be pop locking with
What's happening?
What's happening?
Yeah,
but what's happening now was actually live, not in syndication when I was growing up. What's happening was like the late 70s, early 80s, and what's happening now had a young Martin in it because he was working in the diner.
Yeah, diner. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, all of that. But I was still like, there was like. With me, I could only play outside for a certain amount of time. Then I had to come in, so it was nothing but TV on. You know what I mean? So Three's Company and like you was talking about, Leave It to Beaver, My Three Sons. All this, the Monkeys. You know what I mean? The original Batman show. You know what I mean? With Adam West. We watched all of that stuff. Yeah, but the 90s was different to me because I was a preteen and I was bad. And I was out here being mannish, is what my grandmother was saying. So I was out here being mannish.
Your man is fine in this house.
I couldn't have no girlfriend. I couldn't have no girlfriend for a long time because I was called mannish. So I didn't get no girlfriend. I could bring around my family until I was 16, and then they talked about me about that, and you don't need no girlfriend, that girl liking you, and so I'm like, dang, let me shut up. Well, I got hit with child support later on in life. If you would just let me be mannish, I would have learned my lesson.
You would have learned it earlier then.
Real early. So yeah, I love talking about that because I love that time period. Yeah, I love that type of step by step. All that I watched, all of that, Living Color. Oh yeah, Living Color is still one of the greatest.
Why we don't get reruns?
Take Kramer up here,
stuff like that, man.
They don't.
I mean, I know it's on streaming, but like reruns, you know what I'm saying?
It's nowhere close from when you can literally watch.
I haven't seen Living Color. Now that I think about it, I don't think.
Well, you can literally watch. You could go from In Living Color to Arsenio Hall show. And you know what I'm saying, or you could go from SNL to Johnny Carson, because Johnny Carson still had great celebrity guests and all of that on there, and that was just a time to live in. It was just like the TGI Fridays going into junior year when South Park came out. It was like South Park and wrestling. All we talked about. We was telling everybody to suck it.
I ain't really rock with South Park like that. I ain't rock with South Park.
Me and my boys, man.
Until I got into the military, and they was on it heavy. And then I think the episode that got me was the Leroy Jenkins episode. That's what really got when Cartman was just stand up.
Leroy Jenkins.
I didn't watch.
Oh, the Monday Night War.
I only watched the movie. That's the only thing I watched.
The movies, yeah.
Because I wasn't really.
I'm still not into it like that. Yeah, I'm still not into it like that.
I watched the series that come on Paramount Plus. I watch those because it's like a little mini movie. I don't watch South Park episodes though.
Yeah.
We used to come to school and all we talked about was South Park. What happened on South? You see what happened to Kitty and and they had Satan on there, and then now I'm thinking about what the hell was we watching? But it was dope. It was dope. So
we talk wrestling though, for sure. We talk wrestling.
Oh, wrestling, most definitely.
Especially Monday Night Wars. Yeah, we talk wrestling.
It was even before because my cousin put me on to wrestling back in like 92. So I've been watching for me because he was a big wrestling fan. I was in a wrestling for a long time.
I've been watching since the 80s. Terry Funk and what's my man? Windorf and all, man. I was watching all of them way back in my uncles was heavy. And being in the South, that's where
Georgia Championship Wrestling. And
it was, and we had TBS and TNT, so they was just playing.
Y'all was really having NWA on there because it was owned by Ted Turner.
Yep. They
Oh
was,
yeah,
they was
y'all,
heavy with it.
man.
So I was watching wrestling all the time. Every time I went home, we would come back home for the summer. You know what I'm saying? Stay at my grandmother's house, and my uncle, he did satellites for the area, so we had the satellite.
Oh, y'all had the good, so y'all had satellite.
Man, we had the big. My grandma had this
cable.
big. My grandma had this big dish. You know what I'm saying? And you had to turn the dial, and it moved.
That was like $200 a month or something stupid like that. Back in the day, if you had a dish.
Yeah, nah. Since he worked for him, I'm pretty sure he got it for free. I don't know how much it was. I just remember. I didn't know what it was, and I used to turn and mess everything.
Let me ask y'all, what was what was some of y'all favorite music videos of the 90s coming out? I got mine because it was a staple of my sophomore year of high school when I actually got to start dating.
Of the 90s?
Of the 90s. Like what video stands out to you the most?
Dr. Dre, Dre Day stands out for me. Yeah, that's 91. It's 91. That's the first album.
92. It's 90. It was 92.
Yeah, 92.
Technically,
Yeah,
92 going into 93 because the actual album got finished at the end of 92.
Yeah, but it didn't come out because Dog.
The videos didn't come out until 93.
No, because Snoop came out in 93.
No, it Let Me Ride and all of that was 90 because that was.
I mean, they was still. The
Chronic.
Thing is, that Chronic album was just dropping video after video out there. It had so many hits from it, but I would say that. I would say Michael Jackson, Remember the Time. What else? That's really all I could think about. I mean, I got videos. It's just that was like, yeah, California. Oh, Bone Thugs, First of the Month. Y'all can chime in when y'all want, but
I'm gonna let Mika go.
I don't know.
You had no 90s defining.
You didn't have
video.
No video that you remember in the 90s. It was like, if you listen to that video, you could transport yourself like a time machine back to where you was at.
No, I missed the bus. Crisscross, I missed the bus. Was heavy. TLC, Waterfalls. Red Light.
Red Light Special was.
Yeah, I don't know why, but that video, yeah, that.
It had me.
Yeah,
that's all I will say.
Janet Jackson. That's the Way Love Goes.
That was a good video. A good song.
Mm-hmm.
That album is cool. The Velvet Rope?
No, that wasn't the Velvet Rope. That was the Janet album.
Oh, the Janet album. Yeah, the Velvet Rope is. Oh my God.
The Velvet Rope was good too, but that Janet album was.
Yeah, Janet album.
That was a 90s album. Janet, that was a 90s album, like for real. Guy, groove me,
baby. Tonight. Okay.
I'm not naming nothing black.
All right. Wait a minute. I'm gonna give you. Hold up. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Dre. Because I know.
Okay, so mine's gonna be quick.
Go ahead.
Mine's is gonna be real quick. For one, My Boo by Go Sound DJs defined my whole sophomore year of high school.
I can believe that.
Defined my sophomore year of high school.
Mm.
All right. Nirvana's
Teen Spirit.
No. Yeah, no? Teen Spirit, but actually listen to Come As You Are. One of my favorite Nirvana songs of all time. This is one of my favorite because it was just that era of grunge.
Yeah.
You know, what was Darius Rucker's group? All I Want to Be With You.
Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yeah, Hootie and the Blowfish when they actually had the people from
videos or songs.
These are videos.
These are videos. I Want to Be With You actually had the some of the people from ESPN on there, and all we watched was ESPN back then. You know, with Dan Patrick and all of them back, blew my. And then Remember the Time. Still one of the greatest videos of the 90s.
Yeah, Today Was a Good Day. Ice Cube too.
Yeah.
Especially
Oh, yeah.
videos back then were movies though. So
They really were.
go ahead, Mika,
So,
because I ain't got nothing black.
I really don't.
What you got, Mika?
I'm gonna go with Smashing Pumpkins 1979. I'm gonna go with Beastie
Smashing-
Boys,
yeah, that was dope.
Sabotage. I'm
Sabotage,
also going to do
Yeah,
Dragula by Rob Zombie. Smack My Bitch Up.
by who was that? That's Right
Prodigy.
Said Fred? Prodigy, yeah. Smack my bitch up. Yeah.
Also, just because I love this fucking song, Cher Believe.
Okay. Yeah.
And
That's a what is that a good skate song? I can hear that
No.
like I don't know why I hear that in like the
Skate.
discos or something.
can't no. And then Spice Girls Wanna Be.
Not
Hey.
Spice Girls, but nah, that's a decade defining joint though.
what's the other one that they did for what soundtrack did they do that for? Oh my god, it's the second single off their album. I can
Spice Girl?
Yeah, the Spice Girls.
You talking about Say You Will Be There?
Is that it?
I'm not. I don't know.
You mean when they were in the desert? Because that's my other favorite song.
No. Oh, Peaches by President of the United States was dope too. That's a dope track. That's dope song.
I can't help you
But
with,
Stranger in Moscow is it makes me sad because
yeah.
you could just tell Michael was pouring his heart out in that
Mhm.
song. But Be
SWV,
Right Here from
yeah.
the Free Willy soundtrack. But yeah. Those were
We didn't even start the show, y'all. We just been talking.
I came in. I thought y'all started. I came in a minute late.
I was asking a question just to get some dialogue coming, just to loosen y'all up. I give y'all mine so we can start the show.
Become One that's my song, okay? To Become One. I like that one.
Wow. Oh, I don't know nothing. I don't know none of the Spice Girls joints. No. Except
I
for
forgot it's on a soundtrack because they played it at the end of a movie, and I really liked it. Alanis Morissette. I ain't gonna lie. Alanis Morissette.
That whole album get played.
Man, it's
The
like
whole
man,
album.
I was like, hey, look, when they did that on Ironheart, why was I singing along too? I was singing right along because Alanis Morissette had some deep ass songs. Deep. But yeah, we gotta start.
I give you my well. I give you 80s movies for me. I would say Breaking, both of them. Breaking both. I think that might have been the first like movie I remember watching like in life. Might have been Breaking. TV show. As far as cartoons, would have to be like He-Man. Then. Now that He-Man was crazy. 90s movie, I would say
He-Man was wild.
Yeah, He-Man was wild. I'm gonna go with what Mika said, that House Party. I used to watch House Party all the time.
They used to get, man, I couldn't. Man, it was so much stuff I could watch, but I couldn't watch. I could watch any horror movie, but something like House Party just was too much. But I had an older uncle and aunt, so they didn't like all the hip hop and all that mess.
Playing. And then my pops had the soundtrack, so I had the freestyle was on the soundtrack. I used to play that over and over again. The battle, you know what I'm saying? Over and over again. That was 90s, 2000s.
Maxwell was dope.
Yeah, Maxwell was dope. 2000s was The Ring. I used to watch The Ring over and over. I love The Ring. I don't know why, but The Ring was dope to me. I would watch it all the time. And 2010, I don't really have nothing for 2010.
I didn't even go to 2010 because man, shit started becoming a blur.
Yeah, it just become it was. Then,
but I remember getting my first entertainment system, my AWA surround sound system for my house, my big flat screen TV, tube TV. Played the mess out of Bad Boys. Played the mess out of that Drew Hill first album.
Not Drew Hill.
And Drew Hill 112. Drew Hill 112 and Donnell Jones, Where I Want to Be.
Donnell Jones.
Now, Where I Want to Be.
Who you got? Donnell Jones, Or what's my man who was signed to Bad Boy?
Donnell Jones. Not Carl
Carl
Thomas.
Thomas.
Now Carl Thomas
Carl
did have
Thomas
a couple
or
joints,
Donnell
but it ain't what Donnell. What Donnell? Donnell, where I want to be? Chokehold. Chokehold. I played that. I used to play. I would play that CD so much when I would go to sleep to that CD until it starts skipping. That's how much I played it.
Donnell Jones was for like the lovers, the people who done been hurt for some reason.
Man, I was hurt. I was over there playing the song. It was at me. I'm talking about watery face.
Oh man, let's start this show, man.
Let's 30 minutes in. Let's go ahead. Let's get this thing started.
What does this button do?
We've been over here chopping it up. I almost accidentally played something about them biscuits.
You see, they changed everything, so yeah, I like the new layout though.
You can see that StreamYard trying to step their game up.
Shit,
but
all the money we paying, they need to.
But they not allowing like some of the overlays to be interactive. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna have interactive, have it along as existing what we got going on right here. So the overlays isn't just stagnant. They should have lower thirds that should be able to be played and all of that. You should be able to edit lower thirds and all that. That's simple.
Yeah.
So yeah, you said that be dying. All right. Yeah, Brenda's got a all of y'all just bringing in all the stuff. All right. Let's just get into the main topic, because we're not going to take that long on the main topic, because we got other stuff to talk about, like Sinners being the #1 horror movie. That's you all want to talk about that no more?
You centered out.
Okay. We're not going to talk about Sinners being the #1 horror movie. We're going to retract that. Redact that for the record. All right, James Gunn, put down the phone. See, for me, I off Twitter, off of Threads, a lot of people will say he talking too much, about this movie. I think the last time he had a conversation, I think this was on a show where he talked about that this is about immigration. Yeah.
He said it's an American show about an immigrant, that is what Superman is. But I think, it's the wrong time. Go ahead, Dre. I'm sorry. What you about to ask? But go ahead.
I wasn't about to say anything. I was going
because I just think it's the wrong time to try to double down on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes I think I'm always say this: let your damn movie speak for itself. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to come. And I like James Gunn being on social media. I don't mind him being on social media, and he is everywhere. Like I was telling me, he is everywhere. MySpace, AOL, Black Planet. He everywhere. If you
Can you imagine James Gunn having a Black Planet page with the money falling in the background and some diamonds?
What? He is everywhere, man. Like, you can't escape James Gunn. Whatever social media platform it is, he is on there. He is responding, and I think it's dope. But at the same time, when it's a line that you need to just be like, all right, I'm not gonna cross this. I'm gonna promote this, my whatever I got going, but I'm not gonna go too much into detail or go back and forth with everybody about everything. And I think that's where he get caught up at.
Mika, do you think that that's a problem for directors, even on a press tour, to talk too much on social media about their project?
No, because y'all complain when they don't. Y'all complain when they don't. No, it's literally like people will complain when directors they're not on social media. They don't respond to their fans. You know what I'm saying? They don't. If James Gunn want to talk, let him talk. I mean, he's trying to stay connected to his fans, and maybe eventually he'll start listening. But it's because the reason why I don't see an issue with this is because most directors, producers, actors, who you name it, they do not talk to their fans. I mean, even if you just did the first 10 comments, it still looked like you
Yeah.
interacted. When Michael B. Jordan hopped his ass on Threads, he was reposting people's stuff, responding to people, and then that man dipped right
He
after
said
Sinners came
James
out.
Blake.
But no,
I'm out.
he came back when Sinners hit HBO Max, and he was like, "Who all's watching Sinners?" And he was interacting with fans, and then he did. Like, now could it be too much? Yeah, it could, but let that be what he do.
That's crazy, James.
For me, I don't have a problem with this for two reasons. One is that, like Mika said, you would like to have somebody that interacts with their fans. Even as YouTubers, you know, people go into your comment section, they say something, I heart everything so I could delete it. So it deletes out of my YouTube studio. Like, who do you need to respond to? But even then, I think you still have to say, sometimes you got to say something to certain people, especially when they're coming out and supporting your product. So I get that. And number two, you know, all you're doing is causing discourse. So when people are talking about your product, that's what you really want. You need to talk about my product. So I don't care if I'm getting on your nerves. Talk about my product. I'm gonna be on here promoting all. Actually, he's just doing what every WWF person does when they're cutting the promo. He's just cutting promos. You know what I'm saying? And getting you either pissed off at him or excited about the product. Any way it goes, you know about the product. And at the end of the day, that's really all that matters is the product.
Yeah, I was telling Darius, because he was like, James Gunn just needs to just not say. And I was like, well, because just like some people in the chat is saying, I think these Stizzle just said you don't see Feige doing it. Feige might need to do it. But James Gunn is not that type of executive. James Gunn is he's a creative. You know what I'm saying? He's not that type of executive. They have two executives. Peter Safran ain't nowhere online chatting it up with the homies on Black Planet and AOL chat and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? He ain't nowhere doing nothing like that. But James Gunn is out here doing it. I agree with you. Yes, talk about my product. But like when I say about crossing the line, the thing is, like the immigrant, I don't know what impact that's going to have going for him saying that, you know what I'm saying? Because it's true. It is an immigrant story. But I don't know in this day and age, in this climate, to like put a pin on that. Like that ain't the hill you want to die on. I don't think so.
Especially a billionaire that's mad about an illegal alien.
Yeah, I don't think right. I don't think that's the hill to die on in this climate political, because now it's kind of politicizing your not the movie. I don't care about politicizing the movie, but politicizing your rollout. And I think that's where things go wrong. You know what I'm saying? When you politicize the rollout, not the movie in general, because I think stories, movies, all types of things is political by nature, because we people, and you know, people choose sides or have certain, you know what I'm saying, this track, that track or whatever. But the rollout, I don't think necessarily needs to be politicized. That's how I look at it. But keep doing. I think James Gunn is doing a dope job, kicking it with the homies. Shit, you never know. James Gunn might just hop into the chat and start, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
So you want me to shut the fuck up? Is that what you want me to do? I got something for you.
What you talking about?
No, I mean, I do understand why people want him to get off of Twitter. Is for the simple fact is that because you don't see Martin Scorsese doing that, you don't see all these other big time executives doing that. You like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? But again, James Gunn has not really flopped with the movies he's produced since Guardians of the Galaxy. And the only one that I pointed out, because I pointed out this morning, was the Suicide Squad, because it had the day and date release. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know, it was during the pandemic. You got, you know, it's on streaming or it's at the movies. Which one you want to pick? And this is when they were telling you, put on your mask, 6 feet, you know what I'm saying? All of this stuff. But nobody trying to deal with all that mess. So they were staying at home. You know what I mean? But it was streamed. It was the most streamed content on Max, on HBO Max at that time. And that was going against Godzilla versus Kong and all of that. You know what I mean? So, and then Peacemaker was a highly, touted show. Guardians of the Galaxy averaged $800 million a pop. Average. You know what I mean? That's 200 off of Billy. So, hey, man, if I'm making money, you can't tell. I'm going to be, hey, look, if you want to be Puffy, all in the videos, who are we to tell?
He does Puffy of this movie. That's exactly what he is.
I mean, he ain't Suge. Suge was in the background being the muscle. Diddy was out front.
Until Suge,
you know what I mean?
Until he became the front person. I think Suge always wanted to be in front of the camera. You know what I'm saying? He just.
But I'm just saying in context wise.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, in context,
But in context wise, Diddy was always out in the forefront. So I'm comparing James to Puff as far as just being out there. I'm not. Hey, look, whatever makes you your money, I ain't making $800 million. So what can I say? You know what I mean? So
I'm just saying he'll probably quiet down if Superman underperforms. You think so?
I don't think Superman is going to underperform because it's Superman. Even the worst Superman money has made money based on inflation. You know, everybody looks at, like, somebody asked me, why didn't it make $1 billion? For one, Warner Brothers in the newer age, they do not allow their movies to organically come to pass. They always got studio interfere. Warner Brothers has always had a problem with studio interference.
And movies wasn't doing $1 billion. Like every movie.
Yeah, back in the, I'm talking about even with Man of Steel and all of that. It wasn't even getting anywhere close.
What solo Marvel movie did $1 billion back then? Because that came out the same time Iron Man 2 came out.
It wasn't until Black Panther. It wasn't until Black Panther
movie was making $1 billion like that.
Yeah. So, and again, I believe it's just they didn't allow their product to organically cook. And then also the tone of the actual movie does have a play in it. If it's not, let's be honest, if it's dark, gritty, and it ain't something like Ninja Turtles, ain't nobody kids ain't coming to watch that, because remember, these are still superhero movies, which I need a lot of grown people to understand. A lot of this ain't made just for you. The comic book, they're trying to introduce new young comic book fans. So they're trying to get the young people to get in here and grow them up. Just like how we were fans of Superman back. If you're an 80s kid, you knew Christopher Reeves was your Superman. You know what I'm saying? You knew Michael Keaton was your Batman. They're trying to grow that audience, right? So if you make it so dark and gritty and I'm trying to keep it real, well, keeping it real ain't gonna get you paid either. Just as Dave Chappelle. You know what I mean? So this is why the Marvel movies was so successful. They were light, they were bright. They had adult themes, but it was still lighthearted. You know what I mean? And everybody and their mama wasn't going on there complaining, you know what I'm saying, and being a voice. So I believe this is going to make $1 billion because it's light, it's bright, and all of that stuff. So personally for me, so.
Yeah, I don't think the Snyder Code is the main.
Too.
Yeah, they are trying to merch all that. I don't think the Snyder Code is an issue. I think they talk a lot. I think they talk a lot of smack, a lot of, you know what I'm saying, but they're gonna be right there watching the movie. That's the bad thing about it. They're not boycotting this, man. They're gonna well, let me say, majority of them are not gonna boycott this movie because it's Superman. You know what I'm saying? And if you're a Superman fan, I think you can go watch
Superman.
End of the day is Superman. Nick, what you got to say? James Gunn, he watched horror too. He did Slither. I'm pretty sure he
I mean,
he down.
His brothers, he had input with his brothers on Brightburn.
He did Slither. He did Brightburn. I mean,
Slither was trash.
But
He
you
And
was
like
Brightburn
Brightburn
was-
Brightburn was just the anti-Superman.
That's why I love that shit was
Yeah.
awesome. I'm sorry, that's probably one of the
If it
best
was
horror
bad,
movies. It
Anti-Superman.
was probably one of the best horror movies based on an existing product, like a Superman-ish that I watched. That
we need
was
to get a
dope.
Batman like that. We need to get a
I mean,
Brightburn Batman.
I mean, they kind of. I mean, they didn't hit a Batman, but they had like if you watch the end credits of Brightburn, and this is, I don't care if it's a spoiler. Y'all go watch the movie.
It's just like 80 years old now.
At the end of Brightburn, they had an anti Wonder Woman, they had an anti Aquaman, and they basically had an anti Justice League.
Like Justice League.
Right. I need the movie. What I'm saying is, I need the movies though. I need.
Oh no,
That's
they
what I
had.
need.
Well, they
hinted at
remember-
it. Yeah,
Remember, he got rehired back at Marvel, so that's the reason why
Oh, he
James
did.
Gunn
That's
and
why
his
he
brothers didn't finish it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we were supposed to get a whole. We were supposed to get a whole universe. Like we were supposed to get the anti Wonder Woman movie
should still
next.
do it.
We were supposed to get the anti Aquaman movie,
Elseworld.
and so on and so forth until they
DC
formed the anti Justice League.
Anti-Justice League. Or you?
that's basically what they was doing.
I don't
Let's
even
get
think they would
to
have
the
called
super chat
themselves the
real
anti
quick.
Justice League.
hate soups, but I might go just to see Mr. Terrific. All right. Let me go ahead and hook you up.
I done came up, got my name up. So when they speak of who blinged up, I'm who they bring up.
Appreciate the $2 super chat. Boycott Activision. I'm just gonna go see it because I like Superman. You know what I'm saying? Let's see.
No,
I
I'm
remember
a
when
Superman
I
fan.
was. Yeah, I think for Christmas when I was 8, I got a box set tape. They were probably cheap as hell of the old Fleischer Superman cartoons. So I remember watching that up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Superman. So I like Superman. I'm not really a big fan of him in the comics because he's just he fixes everything. So there's no stakes if he fixes everything. That's why the death of Superman was so dope. Action comic Superman.
Well, I mean, recently
everything.
it just all depends on what you what era you're reading, because they've had some Superman the way he ain't been doing. He's not the perfect, you know what I'm saying? He's been dealing with PTSD, all types of stuff. Like they got Superman dealing with some real type stuff. You know what I'm saying? I think writers are the same thing with like the Hulk. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to write. Let me not say it's hard to write those characters. I don't think it's hard. It's just our editors allowing them to push the Man of Steel to these certain different places. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's the thing about it. Well, the editors allow them to write them in a certain way. But I feel, a lot of people look at Superman like he's can do anything, end all be all. You know what I'm saying? Especially since he on Earth. Once he go off world, though, it's a different story. Once he go off world, it's a different story. Yep.
But yeah, so that's kind of our thoughts as far as like James Gunn. Do you guys believe that James Gunn needs to get off social media? Make sure that you put it in the comment section below and kind of let us know.
For Superman's sake.
You said what?
For Superman's
What'd you
sake.
say? All right.
That's it.
So,
for Superman's sake.
Yeah, for Superman's sake. Okay. Mahershala Ali was on a what was this? Oh God. He was on
this was just
a panel. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought you were saying something.
Am I lagging?
Yeah.
Maybe you're lagging just a little bit. But so Mahershala Ali was on a panel, and their action was going on with Blade, and they asked him what's going on just with superhero movies. Listen to what he had to say.
Cinematic Universe film Scarlett and Mahershala have been in. Leave me out of it.
Well, there's one that we're very excited about.
It's a Scarlet question. What's your first
And you,
movie?
Mahershala?
What's your first movie role?
What about
What
you?
is your first movie role? I'm curious about that. What's your first movie role?
My first movie role?
Yes.
Can you name every Marvel Cinematic Universe film Scarlett and Mahershala have been in?
Leave me out of it.
See, to me, it's still, it's still, for me, this is just so embarrassing still on Marvel's part, because Mahershala Ali is sitting right there, still in shape, still doing his thing, even though my son said, my own 2-year-old son said that it was okay. Jurassic World was okay. He's sitting there right now. What? Sinners was written by Ryan Coogler in 2 months, and still nothing. I just seen Blue just disappear.
He did. He's rebooting.
Oh, okay. So, what is going on? You know, with
He got the juice.
What?
He can let himself in.
You said what?
He got the juice. He can let himself in.
Yeah, I'm just so used to that now. It's just, but what is?
Hey, am I still lagging?
No, you good now.
Cool.
So what is the deal? What is going on with why is, and I'm gonna send it to Mika, because Mika, you are the horror aficionado. Why can't Marvel why can't they get right?
Because this is a horror movie.
Because it's a horror movie?
Because it's a horror movie.
They can't get it right because it's a horror.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing when it comes to Blade. I feel like if they were smart, they would have given it to Ryan Coogler to begin with. Let him rock. I mean, and he's already proven that he could do a vampire movie, so just let him rock. Give it to him so he can go, so we can go ahead and get it. Not only that, they had to take the costumes from this Blade movie that didn't even happen and use it for Sinners.
That is very true.
Crazy.
That's
Yeah,
very
crazy.
true.
So why not just give it to Coogler and let him rock? You already know he's already proven he could do it. And I mean, not saying Marvel hasn't done quote unquote horror in the past. I just don't know why they can't get this one
They
right.
haven't really,
And maybe,
not really.
I mean, Werewolf.
I
by
mean,
Night
they
was-
technically
that was
did
the
do
air
horror
quote.
with Multiverse of Madness. With Multiverse of Madness is
That
Sam
too.
Raimi.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Doing his version of horror, and then you also have to look at Werewolf by Night. So, and I just invited Torian on for the stream.
I was about to say, what the hell? What? What this
Was it, dude?
Did we put the link out there on accident or something? What's up, Tori?
Hold on.
What's
Before we get to Torian, Sinners was a Blade movie that Marvel dropped. Exactly. So let me hook you up real quick, and then we'll get into this conversation.
Gang bang, gang bang, gang bang.
You are truly amazing.
Gang
Thank you for your super chat.
Gang bang, gang bang.
What's going
All
on?
right,
Y'all?
Torian, what's going on?
What's going on? What's going on? Dre, Blue, Mika, what's going on? Let me tell you why I'm kind of glad that Ryan.
What up?
I hope he doesn't attach himself to Blade, because let me tell you what they'll treat him as. They will treat him as the cleanup man to clean up the mess they created. I don't think Ryan wants to do that. He's like, wait, I did what I did with Sinners with this original IP, and because y'all messed up, y'all want me to come up and clean up the mess you made? No. So I would decline that offer if I was him. Would I look like the Help?
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, Tori, you kind of make a excellent.
And I made another point in the chat earlier, which is the reason I wanted to come up here. I said, let's just hypothetically say Superman and Fantastic Four underperform, which I highly doubt neither of them will do. I hope both of them are extremely successful. But let's hypothetically say that they did. They gonna fast track that Blade and Icon movie just so they can save their asses, just like Black Productions have been saving Hollywood for how many years now?
Yep.
I mean, we can go back to the Blaxploitation era with this one.
Exactly, because the Blaxploitation era did save Hollywood.
Yep.
It saved it. That's why I said there's power in the black dollar. So when you look at something like what Ryan Coogler did with Sinners, writing this in 2 months and getting this up, and then you have all this stuff, I could technically see Marvel hurrying up and saying, Ryan, hey, look, I seen what you did with Sinners, big dog. You know, can we get a little bit of that? Can we get a little bit of that Sinners? You know what I mean? Just do it for me real quick, big dog. Please, baby, I need you. Do you know what I'm saying? And let's be honest. If we see Ryan Coogler presents Blade after Sinners, you know we gonna do that. You know we coming because we've already seen what they did with Blade. So again, we're still saving Marvel. So I see exactly what you're putting down there, Tori, and I see that.
I think WB.
I would rather see him. Wasn't it rumored back a while ago that he was supposed to be doing a Mansa Musa film?
Yeah, now he's working on X-Files. Is what he's working on right now. I would
rather see what that Mansa Musa film looking at. I already know.
You know that ain't coming for
real. That's the thing. I know that they would act real funny about that.
I would love to see that though.
But I get what you're saying. You're saying I'm tired of because I just watched the interview with why can't I think of nobody's freaking name right now? It was on the Pivot podcast. Godfrey talks about when he met Stan Lee, and he talked about how Blade, which is very well documented, how Blade saved Marvel. But then he started going into all the movies that have saved different studios, which is, here again, black people saving the studio. You know, it was funny is that when you have these movies, the audience decides for itself whether they want to watch it or not. Black, white, orange, green, it doesn't matter what color. We're coming out and watching these movies and making it successful if you look at the breakdown of the demographic. So really all this grifting and all of this with, you know, oh, they don't want to watch these movies because this is just the crap that they're putting out is false. Right. Because we see it in the numbers. You can look down the demographic of who's watching these movies. And it's very diverse.
And also, too, speaking of numbers, I don't know if y'all saw it or not, but they said on Disney Plus that Ironheart and Captain America: Brave New World are the #1 and #2 most streamed on that app.
Yeah,
I think they said Brave New World was the most streamed, but then Ironheart overtook it, and now they're #1 and #2, and that's all because the usual suspects and their co-colonizing cohorts, as I like to call them, bashed it, forcing people to watch it out of curiosity. So y'all actually boosted their numbers because y'all couldn't shut your mouths about how much you quote unquote hated it.
So you're saying
and the irony of it all is both projects came out in 2025 and they're both starring black leads.
So you're
no matter how you feel about the project.
So you said they're a necessary evil. Is what
that's
you're
the
saying.
same thing. Listen, that's the same thing that happened with The Little Mermaid.
They
hated it into a financial success.
I think Little Mermaid was gonna do numbers anyway. That was the movie that saved Disney. A lot of people don't know that.
Oh, back in the day.
Yeah, Little Mermaid saved Disney back in the day. Yep. So it was gonna do numbers anyway.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That Little Mermaid saved Disney?
No. It's
that
just
black
the
folks
fact
saved everything. Ask Crispus Attucks. We wouldn't even have America without a black man. Ask Crispus Attucks.
Oh yeah. It's just not grifters on film. Why it made me think of Shark Soul film that Mika had, and I kept saying, "Hate it." What's crazy to me is that you have this rhetoric that keeps getting piled on, and millions of people are listening to this rhetoric for it to be dispelled by the actual audience itself. I think that's the craziest part about all of this. If I would just say this, I enjoyed the last Final Destination just came out.
I did too.
Purely because of the mayhem, purely because of the silliness in all of it. I knew what I came for. right? I didn't say. I mean, there's some political talk. I can say I can nitpick and say there's political talking points in there, but then it takes away from the experience of the movie. Then I just can't go and enjoy the magic of the movies. Shout out to B&B, but you know what I mean. So when it comes to us, a lot of people say, you know what? That's actually watching these movies. That's really watching them. They don't care nothing about that. They're like, I just want to watch a movie and enjoy it. And
they try to take the fun out of it.
Yeah, even if it's mid, I'm still enjoying myself. Mika put up a post about Megan 2. Like, look, y'all don't really want sequels because y'all don't want to evolve. And it's just those small group of people that's saying the same rhetoric. The same thing with the grifters. They're saying the same rhetoric. You know, but then when you look at the box office numbers and then you look at the breakdown of the demographics that's watching it, it's proving you wrong every time.
Well, Megan ain't do too good, but I feel you though.
But if you're watching a movie, if you're going back, like, okay, we were just talking about all the TV shows and all of that stuff. Everybody on this panel was black. We mentioned white shows and black shows. White music and black music.
But I
you
think that was
country?
The magic of the 90s. I hate to say it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of, as racist as America was, it was damn near invisible. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was there, but that shit.
The world was small. I would say the world was more expanded back then because you got to think back then there wasn't any streaming.
It was a bigger world. Yeah, the world was huge. But but here in America, just like us watching so much, you know, white shows, black shows, just being able to enjoy what we want to enjoy, and not having to worry. You know, all we had to worry about was Siskel and Ebert, or somebody saying something on ET. You know what it was, Entertainment Tonight. You know what I'm saying? That was it as far as somebody talking up. You know, basically doing the stuff that we do. This was all barbershop talk, and you know, I only got my haircut maybe twice a week. I mean, you know, every 2 weeks or something.
When the haircut was $5.
Yeah, back when it was. Right, when it was regular money, you know what I'm saying? Regular.
Yeah, now they want to charge you like hundreds of dollars for a cut that ain't gonna last you a week.
Yeah.
So Mika, you know, can you expound upon what you said in that post on Threads about?
I surely can.
Because I think before we get to that, let's get to this super chat real quick. The Informant Media, from the Informant Media. Shout out to the Informant Media. Always be one in the group. The killing in Final Destination was too.
Not it was too woke.
I wish somebody would have said that. I would have clowned them in their little so-called review.
Yeah, let me go ahead and because I know Mika don't like that. She don't like that either. So I gotta move around what Mika don't like now. So
Gang bang. Gang bang.
You are truly amazing. Thank you for your super chat.
Gang bang. Gang bang.
yeah, because everything I want to put, Mika gonna make a face. So Mika, expound upon what you was talking about as far as like why you enjoyed Megan and why we're kind of stuck in, well, it's not the same as Megan 1.
I'll read my post and then I'll go on. So I wrote on Threads, I said, folks out here mad at Megan 2.0 wasn't just a copy of the first movie, but love to act like Terminator 2 didn't do the exact same thing and get crowned a classic. Be serious. Y'all wanted Megan to go after Gemma again and just rinse and repeat the same damn story. That's not a sequel. That's reruns with a fresh wig. Was it perfect? No. I said, but it was fun as hell. Chaotic, messy, wild. And Megan was in her evolution era. And y'all complaining for what? Because it didn't give you the same formula twice? At this point, y'all don't want sequels. You want the same meal reheated and served on a new plate. So I said that because it's true. Like all the people that's hating on Megan 2.0, oh, we wanted a horror movie. We didn't want the change. So the fuck what? Have fun with it. Like that was...
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I did see Megan 2.0, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I even critiqued it. Like I will say this: It definitely was a huge genre shift. Like I found myself in the audience that I saw with, we found ourselves laughing more at it than we were scared. It felt like when she just started singing
This Woman's
what was
Work.
that song? This Woman's Work. I'm gonna be honest, we was in the theater cracking up because it made me forget that in the first movie she did just burst out into song out of nowhere, and then it made me, I was like, she did do that in the first one. So I like that they did keep the continuity with that one, that she just started singing out of nowhere. But that part was the funniest part. Like we was in there laughing so hard to the point you thought we was watching stand up, because it was so out of nowhere.
But here's the thing about, because I talked about this with somebody else on my channel, and basically you got Megan, you got a killer robot, although this time you got one killer robot and a killer robot that's trying to stop the killer robot. You got a dance, you got a song. That was everything that was part of Megan 2.0. I mean, yes, there's no horror. I mean, the horror aspects of this movie were taken out. Now, when I watched the trailer, and I remember, I think we watched the trailer here on Blurred AF, I didn't get horror vibes from that damn trailer. I literally called it Terminator 2. Terminator 2.0.
You literally said that.
If you was going in expecting that, me and Mika broke the trailer down, like
literally broke the trailer down.
I had to go in and do the whole thing of scrub and stuff of it because of copyright.
Right. That trailer didn't give horror at all. It gave
Terminator 2.0.
But remember, Terminator itself was a horror movie. The first Terminator movie was literally based as a horror sci-fi movie. No different than Alien, you know what I mean? And then when you got to Terminator 2 Judgment Day, they flipped it and said, let's make it more of an action sci-fi movie. Mm-hmm. So that's what you got. With silly jokes. Hasta la vista, baby. No, you don't. This is like I said, I understand what Mika is saying, because it is.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people are hating on this movie and probably haven't even watched it. And if you're just hating it because based off what the trailer said, or what they said that we was getting Megan 2.0, it was going to be horror. Like even the teaser trailer had nothing to do with nothing was mentioned about horror. We just got Megan pulling up and winking at us and saying basically she was bad. And then when we got the trailer gave sci-fi action. Like it didn't even give horror at all.
They even used Oops, I Did It Again as their theme song.
Right.
They did. They did.
Almost like they were making fun of themselves.
Now I will say this: the robot that they used for Amelia looks so real. Like I really thought that was an actual real person.
Hold up, that wasn't a real person?
No,
it was a real person, but it was
a real person.
A real actress, but she looked like a real person.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, when I first saw the trailer for it, I thought that was Elizabeth Olsen because it looked just like Elizabeth Olsen.
I thought that was Elizabeth Olsen too.
Yeah.
But honestly, if they want a sequel to Megan, why don't you just go watch Companion? No,
I would have watched Companion if they did not spoil the plot twist in the trailer.
I'm so glad
I avoided the plot twist in the trailer. I'm like literally.
Look, that's what made me not want to go watch it, because I wanted to see that.
I even told Mika, I was like, I had no idea that this was on because I didn't see any trailers. Matter of fact, all the final trailers, all of this for Fantastic Four and Superman, I'm avoiding all of that. All the little sneak peeks. I don't want to see nothing. I want to go in there freshly surprised when I walk out the movie, so I can give my honest critique.
And that's nothing. I mean, that's for like those type of movies, yeah. But when we're talking about movies like Megan 2.0, where people are like, their expectation is, I want this killer robot, and then they go and see it and they're like, that's not what I got. It's like, dude, did you even watch the trailer? Because the trailer would have clearly told you this was not going to be a horror movie.
Now, one movie that's coming out that I want to see that's doing trailers correctly without spoiling anything and is still leaving the audience intrigued is Weapons.
Yeah.
Like, they've already released like 2 or 3 trailers for that, and I still don't know what the plot is. But it looks so. But it looks so.
It's
good.
about.
So I want to go see it.
Disappearing.
Blue, we know it's deeper than that for kids.
Running with the airplane arms.
Yeah, they doing the anime run.
What else?
No,
What else you want to know? Tori and his kids, they disappeared. They come back.
It do look interesting as hell, though.
It really does.
It does. Interesting as hell.
Because I'm looking at it and I'm not knowing what's going on. And I'm like, okay, you got me. It's like, they don't have to drop another trailer for it because the movie comes out in less than a month. So I'm looking for. And let me just say this: I said they done snatched up 3 Marvel actors for this movie.
Yeah,
they have.
They snatched up 3 Marvel actors for this movie.
It's about kids.
And one of them got a movie coming out in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's about kids who get trained to be assassins. That's what it's about.
I mean, hold on, wait a minute. We're
I would be mad if I go in and watch this movie and that's actually what it is, but I doubt it.
Watch it be a whole.
It's not that.
I'm about to say, ain't that supply to Black Widow?
Just a big flip.
I hope that's not it.
It looks like some creepy horror that I'm all for. I'm all for creepy kid horror.
What if it's not that? That's
but even psychological thriller, even a psychological film that makes me think, like, you know what I mean? I just okay. So I know certain movies. Let's just say Fast and Furious. I know that's going to be a good time. You know, certain things I could turn my brain off just for a moment, just to enjoy myself. You know what I mean? Because I know this defies all laws of logic and gravity. You know, but with a movie like that, where I got these kids being creepy and stuff like that, I kind of want to sit back and be like, "Yo, what is this? Like, give me something, make me intrigued, make me sit." Like Magazine Dreams. At the end, I was like, "Oh my God, what did I just watch?" I want to feel like that again. You know, in that movie, it's kind of giving me those vibes that I can sit back and like, man, this might be psychological. That's even better to me, horror. Psychological horror instead of gore and blood.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Magazine Dreams. At first, I thought I was watching a horror movie because some of the stuff they had Jonathan Majors doing in that movie and some of them scenes was. I'm still locked in on that part where I feel bad for those. If this is a spoiler for you, you should have been seen the movie already. But that part where he got, right. The part where he got jumped and he drove to the competition, that one shot, that was crazy. And he still got on that stage and posed while he was all bruised and bloody. That was, and then passed out on the stage. That was a wild scene. And I said that to me showed you how great of an actor Jonathan Major is, because he had that was just no dialogue. That was all just body movement.
Yeah, that
like
was
you believe,
wild.
like you believed that.
That was wild. It was good TV. It was.
But of course, I'm glad they lightened itself up though in the Donna scene.
Right.
That Donna scene is where it lightened itself up.
Right. But yeah, it was. But yeah, it's. So when I go, I think the problem that I have now with this whole climate of if everything is woke and it's rhetoric, even the reverse of that. You know what I'm saying? Where everything is just so good. It's just, hey, how can you hate it? Right. It's almost like, damn, can I just go in and feel just for a minute? Movies are supposed to make me feel something. When first time I watched Child's Play, I was scared of a My Buddy doll going back into Toys R Us or Walmart because it made me feel something. You know, Terminator 2 Judgment Day is one of my favorite movies of all time. Why? Because they took the concept of the guy who was the Jason Voorhees is now protecting me. That is a good twist on that, and it made me feel like, hey, some people are redeemable. That's a feeling. That is not. Would you
watch that, Drake? Would you watch Jason?
You damn right I watch that. You damn right I would. Jason, man, oh my God, would I watch that?
That's never going. That ain't never going.
This is never going to happen. But oh my God, just think of
a show that I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a show that's coming out in September. That's coming on Max that I'm looking forward to, called Welcome to Derry. Basically,
we were already going to talk about that. Mika, you down? Just talk about that every week because I am.
Mika's in the show. She just ain't.
I know you just did not do that.
I'm looking.
You know
I'm
what?
so looking forward
I'm
to
about
that.
to, I'm about to text your
a
ass.
whole
No, you're not.
prequel. A whole prequel. I'm like lock me in. I'm locked.
I like
in
that.
For
It's seemed like it's more focusing on that black family too. I like that. That's what.
Well, so that's the whole premise behind the sequels. I mean the prequels. Excuse me. They are going. If you ever read the book, there are stories that occur prior to you meeting the losers, and the one story is about the black spot, and that's why it's focusing on this black family, because the black spot, it was a all black club in Derry that burned down to the ground because racism. And Pennywise just so happened to be there
Not
at
Pennywise
the same time.
being racist.
He wasn't racist. He just so happened to be there at the same time. The black spot went.
Pennywise was part of the Klan back in the day.
He wasn't part of the Klan. He shows up as well in the book. He shows up as a bird, and he picks off people as they're running out of the black spot, and takes them away. And I guess
was it black people run out of the black spot?
So the black spot started out as a blacks only club, and then of course, like
after he burnt it down, he let the whites come in. Got it.
No. This is before it's before that. So like other people started showing up, and then obviously the racist, the Klan got a hold of it and was like, nah, y'all can't have your own spot, but y'all just told them that they couldn't go to the NCO club because the NCO club was whites only. But even and these are soldiers, fighting, fighting in a war, and they wasn't invited, so they created their own spot and they burnt it to the ground. And Pennywise shows up.
What, World War II?
I think it takes place. Well, so they're going off. They're not going based off of the.
They pushed it.
They're going based off the remake. So 25 years before the remake happened.
The first it.
The first it happened.
Okay.
So 27 years before that. So I think 1960 something they mentioned it in the
Korean or Vietnam War.
Yeah,
it would make sense if it's the Vietnam War. Yeah, the Vietnam War because of
they're going to talk about that.
Yeah,
and it's crazy too because the girl, the who looks like the main girl in this show, she's also in Stranger Things. The one who plays Mike's sister, I think that's Mike's sister. Yeah, she's also in Stranger Things, which ironically is coming on after Welcome to Derry. So it's like once Welcome to Derry is done, it's going to go right into Stranger Things, which is ironically their last season, season 5.
They just need to stop, man. I don't even want to see this last season.
I already came this far, so we might as well already just go ahead and finish it.
I know we in it, but I'm just like, man, why y'all kept going? We got these super chats.
Well, I can't stand. Sometimes, I love my people, but sometimes I can't stand their ass. John said, "Be scared of the water as a kid." When I was a kid, that and anaconda. Because I seen a big snake in the water at the lake. I thought it was anaconda. I took off running.
I hope it wasn't Lake Lanier.
No,
it was claiming life after
life. Lake Lanier is a horror story all in and of itself.
That was
we watched that movie.
Lake. Yeah, we did. It was.
We need a good Lake Lanier horror movie though. That's what we need. Not one.
Yeah, we really do.
Not that.
We really do.
But shout out to Puma Lee for the $2 super chat. Let me hook him up.
Gang banging, gang banging, gang banging.
All right, I actually missed his earlier $2 super chat too. Says Sandman season 2 and the Old Guard 2 Ironheart. And then we also got the super chat for my people, the spoiler keys, my guys.
What up?
Exactly. Movies should be a break for real life, a chance to escape and enjoy. Thank you so very much. The spoiler keys, if y'all better like, share, subscribe. They are part of my list. If you go down to to the description of this video, I got a list of all the channels that I rock with. So make sure that you over here click it with them. Of course, Blue, Torian, all of them is on there. So make sure you rock with them. But let me see. You know what? I'm gonna give you this because we're gonna pause just for a minute and we're gonna come right back because I gotta cut somebody out to the blurred AF.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Now you can own one of the greatest gospel albums ever
On the rough side.
with only giant hits and legendary stars.
Biscuit. I know it's the truth about it. I love. Oh, how I love this biscuit. Oh, how I love this biscuit. It is the best biscuit. I know.
We now return to the Transformers.
Let me see. William Mullock. William Mullock, I do apologize. DZ needs to bring Henry Cavill in as Bizarro. And I don't know, and I don't want it to be ruined, but I hope to damn that if it is Henry Cavill, it's not. I'm saying off of Twitter, threads, all of that is Ultraman. Because I think that'd be a hell of a twist if he is Ultraman. But I got you, William Mullock. My bad, my brother.
Gang bang, gang bang, gang bang.
You are truly amazing. Thank you for your super chat.
Gang bang, gang bang, gang bang.
I'm sorry, sometimes the $2 super chats start looking alike because it's all blue. So my bad, I got you. He said play that song again. What, Pam, you don't like it? I took it to church?
She said somebody.
I was over here while it was playing. I was over here singing to the top of my lungs like I was a part of the choir.
I just want you look. I just want somebody to get that Time Life. You know, I'm coming up on the Rough Side of the Mountain album, and just that's the bonus song on there. That's it. But anyway, Mika. I still got to tweak that too, because I have more stuff I need to put into the edit of that to make it sound more like the Time Life thing. But anyway, Mika, finish what you were saying.
I don't even know what I was saying no more.
Well, are you coming up on the rough side of the mountain?
No.
Oh,
On the rough.
No.
Oh man, Stephanie MC, what's up? What's up? Oh, y'all can go. My bad. I kind of like shifted everything. My fault.
Did you?
I was gonna talk about one of these super chats. Which one was it? Oh, the Sandman season 2 Old Guard and Ironheart. I guess he was saying as far as what's being played right now. I don't know if any of y'all watched the Old Guard 2. Any of y'all? Anybody? No. Bueller. Bueller.
No.
Yeah, it ain't.
I don't watch Netflix.
What? You boycotting?
No, I just don't.
I'm about to start watching that Trainwreck series
That's what I want to watch.
What's that?
Yeah.
on Netflix.
Where they talk about situations that ended up real bad, like the whole Ja Rule, what's it called?
Fire Festival.
The Fire Festival, and there's one about the Carnival cruise ship that ended up stranded in the middle of the Gulf. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're called Trainwreck.
Oh, okay. And that's on Netflix?
Yeah.
What's that on Netflix?
I'm tired of paying that Netflix bill for something I barely watch. I'm just being honest with you. So that's just
I'll be watching my Netflix.
I'm ready
to keep Netflix going in our house.
I'm ready to see. Well, I'm ready for Wednesday season 2 to come back.
Wednesday.
I like the first season.
No, the first season was good. Wednesday was good.
I just don't like. I don't like the fact that they be making us wait so long for these additional seasons. Like, I lost all interest in what's it called? Yellow Jackets. Like, I know the third season's out, and I don't damn. I don't care.
Well, no, it came back on the timely manner though.
No, it did. It took like 2 years for it to come back.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did. I watched it. I should know. I think I know. It took a while for it to come back. I was like, when we getting Yellow Jackets back? And then they was like, oh yeah, it's gonna come out it's gonna come back this spring. And I was like, too late. I don't care.
Well, here's the thing. The thing is, like, back in the day, remember back in the day, they had 22 episode seasons. They ran from September all the way through May, and they took a hiatus for the summer, and then they all came back at the same time. But then it's like once a lot of shows broke off from network television and streaming kicked up, then that's when they was like, okay, y'all can come and go whenever you want. We'll throw a bigger budget at you, but the seasons won't be as long. So now you got these much shorter seasons, and with Netflix, we'll dump the whole season at one time, so we don't have to do the residual thing. So they basically cut corners so they could not have to pay people so much money.
Trash. That is true. They was talking, but it's been a lot of actors talking about that. They cut the writers' room.
That was a big reason why they had that writers and actors strike.
Yeah, why they had the strike. Yep.
So it dropped in 2021, and it got renewed for a second season. The second season didn't premiere until 2023.
Right.
And then the third season didn't premiere until 2025. 2 years.
Why? I thought it was 2024. I didn't watch that last year. I thought it came out last year, December.
And they just renewed for a fourth season. That ain't gonna come out until 2028. No, I'm just I don't know. I don't know.
2028 is that's Marvel.
But they literally
time
waited
there.
2 years. They waited 2 years between each season. I mean, yes, I waited for the first. I mean, December to March 26, 2023. That ain't really that long. But then you finish the season, and then February 16, 2025 is when you got the third season.
I still think people still have to remember that writer strike. That writer actor strike delayed a lot of, like, when you talking about production, they wasn't able just to go back to principal production or principal shooting and all of that. They literally had to sit. And then you have, once you got back to principal photography and production and then post-production, that stuff takes a while to get done. So just think, if they delayed it a year and they were in just, in just shooting, well, that now is going to move the whole schedule up a year or a year and a half, or maybe even 2. So I know people are like, oh my God, it took so long. It's because of the writers and actors strike. It really, that was, what was it, one of the longest strikes in Hollywood?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's why we're getting stuff so super late, in Hollywood.
The strike, I think, like, it started off with the writer strike, like, at the beginning of May, and then it ran, and then the actor strike kicked in, like, in July, and then then in total, that thing ran into, like, September, maybe almost October.
Because then you have to, you got to factor in that people who create CGI and all that unionized at that time, and that was a big thing because they weren't getting paid, and then the writers had to go back to the table because of AI, and it was a lot, people, ladies and gentlemen, it was a lot. So,
and also too, you know how, like, on MTV they had something called the TV and movie awards on there. They usually it was always a telecast, but because the writer strike kicked in right before the show was supposed to air, they had to cancel the whole show and just give out the awards via, like, live stream or something. It would look real bootleg.
Yeah.
And the actors, they couldn't accept them because it was part of the strike, so they had to record themselves accepting their award and submit it, and then they just ran it like that. So the whole show ran and probably was, they didn't even air it. They just put it online, like maybe on their YouTube channel or something like that. You just watched it like that. And ironically, they have not had a telecast for that award show since then.
So that's what I'm saying. A lot of people gotta give a lot of this grace because it ain't their fault. You know what I'm saying? It's not their fault. Puma Lee said, my point was everyone is watching Ironheart instead of a Netflix show. Netflix shows. Black shows are still a draw. Biggest lose again now. Recast T'Challa Senior. You know what?
Indeed.
Because why? Why would they not?
Exactly. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at this foolishness that somebody sent me. But let me, Puma Lee, let me take care of you. I got you, big dog, because I know what you really want.
Super chat, body roll.
Out of all the body rolls, you know what? Nope. I say this every show. Out of all the body rolls you could have you chose one where the cameraman was zooming in on my man. You know what?
Hey, I'm not the cameraman. I just
it doesn't matter. It don't matter. You can change the clip. There's plenty of body roll footage.
I don't want that one. I want that. I don't want those. I want your body, girl. I just want your body. I don't want that.
Meanwhile, Michael and Jackie were off to the side, like, what the hell is Marlon doing?
Facts. He's on that booger sugar again.
Hey, listen. Hey, Dre, there's still time because even though they pushed back the Michael Jackson biopic, it's still a good chance they might put the body roll in there, and I think they're splitting the movie into 2 parts.
It is. It's gonna be a 2-part movie.
I sent the letter to add the body roll, so hopefully
Yeah, so it's supposed to be a 2-part movie because it was literally about to be a 4-hour movie.
I think that hurts it. I hate to say it. I think this pushback and cutting it in the 2 hurts it.
I mean, we're talking about Michael Jackson.
Got an expansive.
I was gonna say, from
childhood,
I know, but a lot.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's Mike. I think
they're gonna address everything. The estate blessed off on it.
Yeah. You know, Mike can do 2 billion, 3 billion, and I wouldn't even blink an eye that it does that. You know what I'm saying? Because
that movie is gonna make so much
money.
Y'all thought American Dream was good.
Look, This Is It made money because he passed. The world is going to watch this movie. Not just America, the world.
They already did. I remember they did a soft rollout, I think, over in China before they announced that they were going to split it into 2 parts, and they said them people like showed up for that soft rollout. Like they was the only ones that got like a promo, so to speak, before even we got it over here, and the movie was made here. So this movie is going to do, because for many people this is probably going to be as close as they're going to get to a Michael Jackson as possible, because a lot of people weren't even born when Michael Jackson was in his heyday.
I was gonna go to his concert and then he wanna die and shit. Like,
well, then you ain't gotta say it like that. You ain't gotta say it like that.
But I know same vein. Like as soon as he announced the tour, I was like, okay, how am I getting to London? Like how am I getting to London and how am I getting these tickets?
Let me roll back what I said. I was gonna go and then they killed him, and then they took him out of the game. How about that? Because I believe him and Prince was taken out of the game by somebody, man. That's what I believe.
I mean, Prince took himself out of the game.
I mean, well, you can kind of say that about Mike. They both was
well, no. So
but we already know what happened with Conrad Murray.
That's what I'm saying. That's a different story. Yeah. In Prince's case, he needed hip replacement surgery, but because he's a Jehovah's Witness, they don't believe in blood transfusions. He couldn't get the surgery.
His hip was bad from falling out the stage from
splitting.
No, that pole.
No, that pole did not take his hip out.
Right, that
pole did not take his hip out.
Doing the splits on both sides.
Yeah,
Prince was not going to wear them heels.
Right.
Prince was not going to not wear those heels.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
Prince was a modern day
rock star. He was a Jehovah's Witness, so he couldn't get the surgery. He declined to get surgery, so he was medicating. And
which is Mike was a Jehovah's Witness too.
Mike was,
but he also was in chronic pain as well too, because he could have got surgery. I mean, he could have got surgery for his hips and stuff like that too. I'm pretty sure he needed hip replacement surgery at some point, but no blood transfusions.
But I think with Mike though, he went from Jehovah's Witness to Muslim, and then I don't know towards the end of, because he stopped hanging with the fruits of Islam, so I don't know what he was after that. If he went back to being Jehovah's Witness,
gang banging, ain't no telling.
Well, hey, listen, it was it's public knowledge. Michael Jackson was cool with the Bloods and Crips.
Yeah,
he had them all up. He had them all up and through his videos
and everything.
He said, "I'm a realism."
Listen, Michael Jackson was good in any hood. I mean, let's just be real with ourselves.
It's Michael Jackson.
In any hood.
He beat up Tupac. Come on.
Yeah, y'all better understand. Gary, Indiana was that.
Hold up. Did we just have this conversation about him?
We did about him beating up Tupac.
I remember it was a video. I don't know if y'all saw the video. It was a video where it was after. I think it was after the trial in 2005. or something like that, and it was like a mob of people, and one of the people was trying to reach their hand into the window or something like that. Michael and Janet looked like they both wanted to jump out of that car and beat whoever that was, who was because their mother was right there. You know, they're gonna protect Katherine Jackson. They looked like they wanted to climb. They had to have security hold them back from jumping out the window. They didn't care how many people was there. I said, y'all bet not sleep on Michael and Janet. They may sound soft spoken, but they came from the gutter. They will put hands on you and dance up out of there.
Yeah. Better stop speaking on Gary, Indiana.
Hey, don't forget my little man Prince. Prince wasn't no joke either. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, Prince will baptize you in the lake of Minnetonka. Don't play with purple.
Prince was a fighter. They always fighters. I just think coming from that era. That era. They had
he was short. What Mike? I think what Prince 5'4".
Yeah, Prince is short.
Yeah, Prince was like 5'4".
Yeah. Let's give him 5'7" with the heels on.
With the heel.
Because I listened to Morris Day talk about Prince. Prince was a little asshole. Prince did not play. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Dre, have you ever seen that video where Prince's shadiest moments?
Yeah, it is hilarious. The way
Prince
he shades people.
It was so funny.
When he was talking about sampling, he was actually talking he was talking about P. Diddy. He had a meeting with P. Diddy like the day prior or something like that, because that's when I forgot he was sitting on the couch talking to who was that? What late night show was that? And he was asking him about sampling. Diddy had wanted to sample his music, and
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Prince was one person that he said I will let you sample my music. However, I require something of you. You have to own your masters.
Hold on, wait a minute. So he was pulling Mephisto.
No, and you know what's crazy? Prince. Somebody was telling a story about Prince. Prince would do a song for you and then take the song back and do it himself. That's crazy.
Oh well, he did that. Okay, so Gigolos Get Lonely too. So he did his version, then had Morris Day and the Time do their version, but still kept his version. Right. So his version is on the hitting tapes. I'm like, but he wrote it. He wrote it, produced it, all of that.
He would write for people. They would do the song, and then he'd come back and do the song anyway. It's like, damn, Prince, I thought this was mine. He's like, hey,
yeah. Like, so Prince would do that with almost damn near everything especially if he did it, if he wrote it, he produced. Yeah, you can have this, but I got my version too, big dog. Go ahead. I'll cover your cover.
I think it was. Remember that year that Prince was on the Grammys? He had that orange leather-looking outfit. It was a shiny orange outfit, and he had his fro. This is when Prince was in his fro phase. When he got up on that. Yeah, when he had got up on the stage and he was about to present the award, I forgot for what it was.
Whitney.
He said. He said black music like Black Lives Matter.
That was Whitney.
It was Whitney.
Yeah, it was for Whitney.
Okay. Yeah, he started going off on the industry, you know, and how the industry was treating him as far as being an artist. And then it's funny that Prince said it first, then Michael came out and said it against Sony. Then you had the two biggest icons in black music period, but black stars saying the same exact thing. That's when you knew it was something fishy. That's why I don't understand why people go so hard for the Hollywood studios. They follow this rhetoric. I'm like, I don't get it. I think that's why I go so hard. I don't try to beef with people, Mika. I just don't understand.
Why you throwing my name out there?
I'm just saying.
Why you throwing my name out there?
Because I was looking at you. And I don't beef with people, man. Blue here. I don't beef for people. Torian, sometimes you be having me going into my villain phase. Like I think, see, Torian turned to Mephisto. He be like, "Look, I got a reaction video for you, but I just need one thing."
Listen, I'm just trying to keep the lights on at the Dre Max show. That's all that is.
Trying to keep the lights on.
What, Mika? He was like, I just require just a little thing from you. You ain't gonna notice. I was like, all right, cool. Here I am. Give me the hood. I like the hood. I don't care. I don't care. I like it. I like
Joel Familiar, he was a fan of Bone Thugs. Prince really liked Bone Thugs. That's why he let them sample Change the World. It's an interview that Crazy Bone did, and he talks about that. That they were one group that could sample from Prince. Like Prince was wild with his musical stuff that he would allow.
Even allowing QD3 to take "What's Your Phone Number" for Pac. Mm-hmm. He had a couple of songs sampled.
You had to be like in his he liked DJ Quick though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like it's
he liked Quick.
People who he liked, and there's some people
because he was a musician too.
Yeah, because
Quick was a musician.
If you had no musicianship, if like he didn't like Puffy because he didn't think Puffy was a producer. That's why. Like Puffy didn't produce nothing. He was like, no, you can't sell my shit because you don't play an instrument. You don't even know how to work the damn MPC3. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, you nope.
When he was on Tavis Smiley, you know, Tavis Smiley had a show back in the day, and that's when he had to tell Tavis. He said probably one of the most famous lines ever said by an artist. He said, "The mic is always on." Mm-hmm. He said, "Don't be accusing me of no lip syncing. My mic is live,
always on."
Whitney Houston was the same way. Now Whitney, as talented as she was,
we knew
she would shade you too. I said this woman was from Jersey. She was from the hood. And the thing is, I'm gonna ask y'all a question. I don't know about y'all, but how Whitney was a vibe when that woman was high as a kite.
Whitney was a vibe.
I'll never forget that time on the BET Awards back in the day, and she
when
hyped up that dress. And
you know when it was high as a kite that night. She
hyped up that skirt and started skipping out onto that stage, and she said, "You better lay low."
Oh, they gave I remember when the whole New Edition BT movie came out, TV show, and everybody kept blaming Bobby for Whitney. I'm like, it was the opposite. I'm sorry. Whitney been high. That ain't just nothing new. Whitney been on Booger Sugar. Just
she
in the
Whitney movie too.
They addressed it in the way. You know what? I've never seen. I'm gonna get my card pull. I've never seen that.
You ain't seen that movie?
I mean, it ain't no. It's not a black movie. It's a It's a.
No, I'm talking about the Whitney movie. I've never seen the Whitney documentary.
No, I'm talking about that too. It's like
the
movie, it's a documentary. Are you talking? About Whitney? The one they talk about literally everything. They go into her drug habit.
I ain't talking about it. I'm talking about the movie. You know, what this was.
The movie with What's the color? Yeah, I want to dance with somebody.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm sorry.
Okay,
yeah,
that's what I was
never seen that.
I was like, that's a documentary. I want to dance with somebody goes in. Like, I want to dance with somebody goes in. They show you from jump that she was using prior to meeting Bobby. Like, and they blessed off on that. Like, they let it ride. Well, and so.
But you at least they told the truth, even though I haven't seen. I might see that tonight because I ain't got nothing else to do for the week. I'm free for the week, y'all. So I'm going on the cinematic podcast. I'm going on Touring Ray Reloaded. I'm popping up at Blue's house. I'm coming in
on vacation.
Man, I'm on layoff, not vacation.
What?
Yep, they laid off my shifts, so I'm free. I'm free, bitches. Y'all gonna get sick of me.
Damn.
Don't do that, Meek. Why you do?
I have on my Purple Rain shirt tonight, so I'm in my Prince era. So
yeah, I see. I'm just getting.
Let me do me.
I'm just getting shaded. I ain't gonna lie, Mister. I ain't gonna lie though. That was the funniest little dude ever. Prince. This man will come in with some assless chaps and take your girl. That's the only Negro I know who can do that. No, I'm not unemployed. I got paid layoff, baby. Stop playing with me. We 11 years down, baby. It's paid layoff. I'm free. I'm popping up on everybody. Mika, what you doing?
What's crazy
you ain't coming on my show.
You ain't coming on my show.
Yeah, I am.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am. I'm like, Mika, I see you live. Well, send me a link, Mika. Send me a link.
You know, I don't go live. I know I don't go live. It's game night.
Those that time period created stars. Do you think we'll see something like that again? I know people talk about Drake and what's her name, Taylor Swift. Those are like the only two like superstar giants that we have in music.
I think Kendrick is now in that realm too. Now,
yeah, I could see him. Yeah.
Just
don't you be on Beyonce's and then you.
Oh no, of course Beyonce.
I do.
That's not even. That's a given. That's not even. It's a given.
Because as a matter of fact, she because here in where I'm at, she did her show on the 4th, and she has another one tonight. It's going on now. It's probably about to be over. But,
yeah, my wife is there.
But yeah, she's doing, because now she's doing stadium. I say once you do stadiums, like that's when you've really made it. Like when you can sell out a stadium.
I didn't mean to leave Beyonce out. It's just
because that's a given.
You think that's just a given at this point?
I mean, yeah, but she's been doing stadiums for a minute.
She's been in it for so long. Yeah, because Beyonce, to me, is from that generation. That's why I didn't add her on there, because she, Destiny. She was a star before where we at now. I'm talking about like today's.
Well, you can't be to me, you can't be a ultra superstar because of social media. You become an ultra super. It's not possible because they're all in your business.
Yeah.
Like like anybody who is coming up right now, just trying to be a mega star like Beyonce, like Drake back before social media got to where it is now. The obnoxiousness of social media. You can't because you have to be accessible, and when you're accessible right now, you get picked away. You do one wrong thing, you can't even apologize, now, because they're still going to bring it up. Chris Brown's a prime example of that. Chris Brown legitimately should be a megastar, but because he made some mistakes and stuff like that, people would never forgave him. So he's not the megastar that he should be. To me, in my eyes. What do you guys think?
And also back in the day, they used to have something called artist development.
Yeah.
Like they actually had to go through, like they had to actually go through a process before they even sang one note into a microphone. Like they had to develop their artists. And also you got to think too, a lot of singers, they started in the church.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of major singers started at.
You see, what's my girl who was just on tour, who's on tour with Kendrick? SZA. She is a product of A&R. Well, that whole camp over there is a product of A&R. TDE don't do nothing. If you're not ready, you ain't ready. You ain't getting the album. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they get mad, but hey, if you ain't ready, you're not ready. Right. I think A&R and artist development needs to make a big comeback because, like what Xavier just said, you don't have any media training. You don't have like nothing. We just give, and it's because these companies want ready-made, you know what I'm saying? They want you to already have a single ready to go. They want you to already have an album ready to go, or they looking at your likes and your following on YouTube, or wherever you at, and that's how they bring you in. And it's like they think it's a waste of money to put you through the gauntlet to see if you really got it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Which is crazy. So it's hard. It was hard to become a star back then, but to me, it's easy to get on, but it's harder to stay now. You see what I'm saying?
Because it's like a machine, like they're pumping so many people out at one time. At least back then, it's like you had someone right here, we can give you a certain amount of staying power and then see where you can go after a few years. Now it's like a revolving door. It's like not enough time for people to really be seen because everyone's popping up from everywhere all at one time. And like you said, a lot of people are coming up off of social media where it's so many people all at one time. So it's like it almost to the thing where now people are having to develop their own level of fame depending on if they can market themselves. Back then you had to have a team behind you. Nowadays people can do it themselves and then the team might come later.
Yeah. We live in a microwave society now. So it's like you'll be hot. You'll be hot for a little bit, but then you'll be quickly replaced by somebody else. I mean, and I will use Sexy Red as an example because she was hot. She was hot, right? She was really hot, and then slowly but surely, we watched her fade away.
We watched Glorilla take her spot,
and we watched Glorilla take her spot. Right.
But that's the Kim Foxy Brown situation to me. That's how I looked at it. And in today's era, you know, we got Kim and Foxy Brown at the same time, and they each had the
they had their lane, yeah,
right. And but they're not. Foxy and Glorilla, Glorilla and Sexy kind of do the same thing. Glorilla got way more range than Sexy does, and I think that's what really hurts.
I think it's and I get it. Like you want, we're in that era where they want them to be themselves, right? But like the thing with, and Pam just said it. The thing with Glorilla is she listened to what people were saying about her, because when she first came out, like people was like, she's trash. She don't know how to catch the beat. Da 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 da. And she worked on her craft, and so that's why she became. I mean, that's why she's hot. She's still hot right now. Sexy Red. You rapping about it. I mean, granted, they both rap about the same thing over and over again, but you know what I'm saying. But
not Dirty Red.
But Glorilla, you could tell she worked on herself. You know what I'm saying? She got her craft better. Whereas Sexy Red was like, I'm just gonna keep saying the same thing. You know, they gonna love me because the hood gonna love me. Girl, this is not a mixtape. Stop.
Yeah.
And that's why Glorilla was performing at the BET Awards.
Mm-hmm.
And
won best gospel song or whatever she won. I was like, what? Okay, all right, Glow. They must really love Glow to give her best gospel.
I mean, it was where Kurt Franklin was on that track, so
I know. But even you know how many rappers have done something similar? Like MC Hammer didn't get it, but you know how many rappers have done something similar?
MC Hammer grew up in the church, and he just so happened to throw a gospel song on every album that he made.
You got to pray. Hey, Hammer was the man. Well,
and then he tried to become a pastor, and then he just went left from there.
But everybody do that, right? Like, all right, man.
When that career dries up, then they got to go back home.
Like, nah, man, you ain't got to do that, bro. Make another Hammer Man cartoon.
He's stupid.
Man, ain't nobody trying to watch that Hammer Man cartoon now.
Come on, Stanley, make another Hammer Man cartoon.
I honestly do believe that Sexy Red's downfall was jumping on that track with Drake.
You think so? I thought a chat saying that. I think her downfall is she just stuck.
Song is trash.
She just stuck. Like you just explained, Mika. Glow took everything, and what Pam said. Glow took what everybody was saying, whether negative or good, and she. Let me write this down and work. Let me work.
Yeah.
All you saw was work. You didn't see her doing no rap. Because I follow her. I follow both of them on Instagram. But following Glow on Instagram is you seeing her work. You're not seeing her doing some ratchet shit or you know what I'm saying. She is out here working in the gym, working with artists, doing stuff that you would think an artist would do. You look at Sexy Red.
She's her own artist development.
She is. Well, I think people like her, and I don't think that people don't like Sexy Red, but it's like if I put them two side by side and I'm with them for a day, I'm probably going to gravitate towards Glow because it seems like Glow wants it more, and Sexy Red just thinks she's gonna get it. If it's like Ice Spice, right? Ice Spice would turn around and just shake her ass, and that was it, right? And I think Sexy Red think the same thing for her. You see what I'm saying? Like, you gotta have more. But as the work, Kendrick has made it now to where you have to rap. You gotta have substance. You gotta say some stuff.
Yeah.
Hate to say it, this ain't just coming out and turn around and twerking no more. Like that's only gonna get you so far.
And I mean, like I said, it's like, and I love Glorilla. I listen to her when I work out in the gym. But if we gonna be honest, like sometimes it's just her saying almost the same thing every single time. But them beats be slapping, and she's on beat now. Like you could tell she put in that work.
I always like Glow. I always thought Glow had it.
Isn't it true that RZA back in Wu-Tang used to be another one that couldn't catch the beat?
Yeah.
No, RZA could catch. It was
RZA could not
couldn't catch the beat.
No,
it was who?
Silk the Shocker couldn't catch the beat. RZA was on beat.
Yeah, no, RZA is there. Go listen to that first Wu-Tang album. There's some songs you be like,
was it RZA?
The beat's here. The beat's here, but he had his own kind of style.
RZA, right, but that didn't mean he didn't catch the beat.
Yeah, it just
RZA
wasn't
was
on it
beat.
either.
I can't let you talk about the Abbott like that. RZA was the man. I don't know what you talking about. Jizza, now Jizza was one who was Jizza and Master Killer. Those two right there was like, where y'all going, dog? Like the beat is over here. Where you going? You know what I'm saying? Like those two. I don't know about RZA. I know Jizza and Master Killer. I don't know about that.
A lot
That's
of
just
these
like
cats beat
that's
the
just
beat
like at
down.
one time. That's just like at one time before NWA really got put on. Easy E couldn't catch the beat either.
Right.
No. Even with somebody repeating it, he was still off. Just saying.
I don't even listen to today's rapper 6. What are you talking about? I don't listen to none of them.
It's always gonna be Silk.
You come in my house, it's gonna
Listen,
be old school
I
R&B
think
and
the
rap.
Silk-
I'm just letting you know
I
that right
think
now.
listen,
I
the
don't
Silk,
listen to
the
that.
Silk
I
the
listen to
Shocker
Glorilla, though.
slander. He's not beating those allegations ever. That
Ever.
slander is valid. Okay, forever.
You better go listen to Ain't My Fault and the remix.
Now that ain't my fault.
He couldn't even catch.
I mean,
the beat
honestly,
in a movie.
like old what was the first episode? The actual Silk the Shocker album.
I said yeah, he was off beat in the movie. Like he couldn't even catch the beat in the movie. Like that's crazy.
The actual Silk the Shocker first album was dope, and he was on beat, but he was rapping on beats that fit him though. It was beats that fit him. So because he was young and he was in that Bay Area time period, all those E40 type beats, because he rapped similar to E40, he was on beat. It's when he started doing New Orleans style stuff, and that beat was just, he couldn't do nothing.
I can't let you put 40 and Silk in the same.
No. I said E40's type of style. He was trying to be.
You can't even say Earl's name next to
He tried to be.
And y'all better go
I didn't say he was. He tried. Hey, look, I tried to be Michael Jordan, but I ain't 6'6". It doesn't mean I didn't try.
Right, and I would never say Dre Mac and Jordan.
Yeah, because I know I tried, but I didn't do it. But see, I was a No Limit fan, so
Silk always had dope albums. I like both of Silk's the first two Silk albums.
First two albums, first two albums was dope. They was Made Man, not so much.
Yeah,
that oh god.
Just like to me, that era C Murder had the best album. To me.
Nah, I gotta give Master P Ghetto Dope. Ghetto Dope. I had the original cover with the crackhead on.
With the crackhead on it. Yeah. Nah, I had that. The orange. It was the orange case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I'm just saying. I mean, I get it though. I get
tomatoes.
it. Tomato.
Mika, you want to listen to No Limit? She was on her Alanis Morissette vibe back then, skating to Alanis.
I didn't skate back then. I didn't start skating until like 2008.
Oh, you was hooping to Atlantis? I know you wasn't hooping to Atlantis. Show up to the court, got Atlantis playing, and
I would only sing. I would sing Atlantis in at karaoke night. And plus, you gotta remember that was during the time where you had to have that big behind CD changer, and you couldn't hoop and I couldn't practice playing basketball with that on my damn hip.
You know you had the anti-skip.
Couldn't even do it.
If you had an anti-skip, you paid money for that bug.
Oh yeah.
Right. But I mean, I was in the military at the time, so I had it.
Yeah, where you was at? Germany? You know y'all got it for the low over there.
We sure did.
On
the economy.
Speaking of music, y'all remember the old music stores like Tower Records, Sam Goody, FYE?
Oh yeah.
Hurdles.
I met my prom date at Camelot. So
yeah, man.
I used to be in that. I bought my first CD from there. It was Crucial Conflict.
Camelot.
Hey, in the middle of the bar.
That wasn't even my song, but okay. That wasn't even my song.
What was your song on there?
My song was Ride the Rodeo.
I'm trying to ride the rodeo.
I remember that
Coochie
song.
Coochie, everything. It's all
Yeah.
how
Oh
shake the party,
yeah, that was their second single. That's what it was.
rodeo.
Yeah, their second single. That's right. Yeah, I think.
And then
That
I
was
like the
a dope
Hey
CD, though.
remix. I like the Hey remix more than the original.
Damn, Mika, you done took it back. It's in my head now. I'm going through the whole disc now. I remember that disc was fire. That was a good.
What was the oh dang, I can't think of it now.
Desperado. Can't help it. I just can't let it.
Right. Want it dead or alive.
Dead or alive. That was
But somehow Silky Shocker was bad.
Oh no,
it was bad.
No, Crucial Conflict, because Crucial
man.
Conflict they did their rapping style was based off. Some of them
Chicago.
were based off how they were Chicago, so they.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my
Chicago
first
fast
time
rap.
getting introduced to Chicago rap, and I was just like, bruh.
So not Twister? Crucial Conflict?
Crucial Conflict was my
Conflict was
well,
my
for me,
introduction
it'd be
to
the Brat.
Chicago
It'll be
rap.
the Brat. Then
It'll be the
Crucial
Brat, then Poe Pimp. Because when Poe Pimp came out, you know what I'm saying? The
Crucial
feature
Conflict was
Twister
already out.
Was he already out before Poe Pimp came out?
Before Do or Die was out. Yep.
Oh yeah, Do or Die. Yeah, because that was a year
Crucial
before.
Conflict.
It was a year before.
Mm-hmm.
But Poe Pimp, as soon as I heard Twister, I was like, I gotta find out who this dude is and let me get that tape. let me get that tape.
Yeah, the final tick came out in 1996 or 95. Sorry, 95.
Hold up. Well, Roberta said, Denzel Washington is already an elder in the Church of God in Christ. He is in training to be a pastor when he retires from film. Who cussing? Mika?
I don't care. I'm gonna go listen to Crucial Conflict when we get off of here.
Hold on, let me get you, Miss Roberta.
Gang bang. Gang bang. Gang bang.
You are truly amazing.
Gang
Thank you for your super chat.
Gang bang. Gang bang.
Yeah, I know Tongue Twister. I know he had been out for a while. I'm just saying, as far as to the masses, I'm not from that area. You got to think back then, everything was regional.
It was area based. It was regional.
Yeah, everything was regional. So
yeah.
Because
I was,
we got.
I was living in Florida, and that was my first experience listening to
I was in Georgia
Chicago rapper. Like I got my introduction to like Bone Thugs and Harmony by watching BET, and I was like, oh, and then I realized they were from up north, and I was like, I was like, okay.
See, I got introduced to Twister before that when he was Tongue Twister, because we had Tech Nine up here in Kansas City. So we had Tech Nine and another cat named Lejo, RIP to Lejo. But Lejo was a fast rapper too. So it was almost like they start to say like fast rapping was a Midwest thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Because I remember Bone had put out their first little demo started floating around right when their album came out. Family. Not the Dayton Family.
That's old. They were on. They were on Master P's. Was it Down South Hustlers? Yeah, I think they were on Down South Hustlers, or was they on West Coast Bad Boys? One of those. But yeah,
I want to say it was Down South Hustlers.
Yeah,
Dayton Family was signed to Ruthless Records, if I remember.
And then out where I'm at, in the DMV area, that's where Go-Go was popping. Still is.
Yeah, Go-Go. Y'all was doing the butt and all types of stuff like that. Yeah.
hey, when Will Mill said you got grown men doing the butt, pack you on up, son.
Pack you on up.
I don't like music.
I think Tech Nine did blow though. Tech Nine is one of the most successful independent artists of all time. I think Tech Nine is doing exactly what he needs to do.
Yeah. And I still remember Tech, because my cousins also rap back in the day, like in a little, at the park rapping. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, you know what I mean? But yeah, Tech been around since people don't know, he's been around forever.
Yeah,
rapping. So yeah.
I don't know why I just had like a reminisce thing, like of what we talking about, like back in the day. Remember how today's 4D back then 240p was the best camera quality. That was like the highest camera quality you can get. It was all choppy, but hey, it still got the point across.
That's kind of all that mattered for real. Did you get the point across? Or did you have that weird green screen where people be moving in and doing this? I still remember rappers, when you rap, you kind of had your
The rapper hand.
especially if you had a ball head. You had
You
the
had to
ball
fade
head.
back.
Ball head rappers kicking stuff, man. Sit down. You being aggressive.
That was it. What you know about Ghetto Mafia? Straight from the deck. Straight from the deck. Came up, went down. What you know about Ghetto Mafia 60 True? What you know, man? Them boys never made it out of Decatur. Never.
Never. Now I kind of do miss the 90s though, because if you had some green screen, man, you was floating across the screen like,
oh yeah. But that's what they were just trying anything with video. They was doing anything with video, just trying. Especially if you didn't have like that big budget to get what's my man who did Belly? Who was doing all the videos? All the rap
Hype Williams.
Hype Williams,
You
yeah.
didn't have the Hype Williams. Oh
man, you was floating across the screen.
Floating across the
Yeah,
screen.
listen, hey, that's how you knew you made it. If you had that green screen back in the day, that's how you knew you made it.
Right. Now, just watching them old videos, that's the first thing I see is a rapper gonna float across the. There you go.
But you know what? And going back to in my opinion, the greatest entertainer to ever live, Michael Jackson. Well, another reason why I'm glad that we had, we're able to experience him, even if it was only for 50 years. Mm-hmm. He made other artists step their video quality all the way up.
Oh yeah.
I mean, all the way up.
No, he made you step your video because there wouldn't be no video. Like Mike redefined what it was to be on MTV. Like you couldn't come half stepping no more. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, think about it. The first time that man stepped on MTV, he's stepping on plates that light up. The ground was lighting up.
That's still one of the greatest videos I ever saw as a kid because I thought that was real. I legitimately thought it was real. So I would go to the mall where with my family or whatever, try to step, like if I step on this, it's gonna light up. Yeah.
You was highly disappointed.
Man, I was 5. I didn't know no better.
You humming and everything.
You was like, maybe this towel don't work. Let me try this towel over here. This one don't work. Let me go try this one over here.
Remember when Big came out and he had the piano that man, I wanted to play on that so bad. Like that's when movies. I thought certain things was real in movies. Then when I was
he was up in New York,
when he came out with the "Leave Me Alone" video, I wanted to ride in the little plane thing that
with the
little plane he was riding in.
Yeah.
Now what was the he did with the rabbit? What was that? Was that Smooth?
Speed Demon.
Speed Demon.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That was my video. There, Speed.
Pull up a boy and get your ticket right. Still one of the greatest songs ever. I don't care what nobody say.
Oh man, Mike wasn't no joke, boy. No joke.
And I keep telling people, y'all better watch the end of that black and white video when he did that dance. That was ASMR right there. And watch the messaging on what he was breaking.
Mike might have been on Booger Sugar doing that though. I don't know, man.
We ain't gonna put that on him.
Why you put that on?
Why do you think his nose had to come off so many times, man?
Because of all the surgery.
You about to get booted off this panel, and it's not even
exactly.
He didn't have any surgeries. He said he only had 2. That's it.
I'm one of
the
biggest
in
Mike
his book.
fans.
He only said, I think didn't they say that his nose was decaying because of the surgery? Because there was not enough cartilage.
And in Michael's book, Moonwalker, he mentioned that he had surgery twice. The first time was after the Pepsi commercial, and then the second time was right before Bad Drop. And he also said that he went and had he also said he went and got the cleft in his chin as well too. So those are the only ones he's admitted to.
I wonder how they do that. Do they put like a piece of thread and just tighten it up, and it just like how do?
I'm sure you can go online and see how to get that done.
That's those are the only surgeries that he did admit that he got his nose done, and he admitted to putting the cleft in his chin. That's it. So.
Nah, his nose changed too many times over. Mike lying somewhere. He lying.
Hey, that you got to remember, Moonwalker also came out
Hmm.
way before he passed. It came out early after he actually. I think it came out around the bad
Yeah.
time. So if we had a chance to rewrite this book, if he had a chance to rewrite his book, he probably would have confessed to more. But at that time, that's what he
why
confessed to.
the full Smooth Criminal film. I'm not just talking about the video itself, but the film when he turned into the car. Then he turned
which
into
is
the
based
robot.
on a real car.
And he turned into a robot.
Yeah, that was the concept vehicle for. Who was that?
Was it a
I forgot what the name of the company is, but they're selling the toy. I almost bought it, but they're selling the toy version of that at Walmart now. It's a Hot Wheel, but I can't think of the name of the actual car itself. But it was a concept car.
Mike said, "Let me get that Toxic Avenger Skeletor nose."
I remember that he had that documentary back in the day. I think it was called Living with Michael Jackson. Then he went to Vegas and he went to that store and just started pointing the stuff to put a price tag, like a little tag on, and say, "I'm buying that."
Is that when he was with Oprah?
No,
nah, he was with the. He was with the.
No, he was with.
He's with that film. The
Hassan.
other. Yeah, he's with somebody
Hassan
else.
something, Middle Eastern guy.
Because I remember when he did. He went in there and the dude was astonished that he was just like, "Let me just."
Yeah, it was that one. Like he went into a store. It was like a store that had a bunch of antiques in there that was like no less than thousands of dollars per antique.
Because they're trying to because they're trying to push this narrative that Michael Jackson was broke.
He said, "Oh, you think I'm broke? Well, let me hold my bank vault." This man went right to that store and just started pointing. It says, "I want that. I want that. I want that." That man bought up like half the store.
Yeah, let me retract the Oprah because I don't think he liked Oprah, because when he did go on Oprah and Oprah was trying to interview him, he just started breaking out in the song.
I don't think it's the fact that he didn't like Oprah. I think he was like, I don't want to do an interview right now.
She was like, "So Mike, what?" And he was like,
he's like, "Sometimes I just think about the beats."
Yeah,
and she was like, "Yeah, that's a good beat." But Mike, and then he started revving it up more. He just got louder and louder. He was like, "Oprah, shut up! I am in creative mode right now." Like she didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, he was fresh off that Dangerous album.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
That's when Michael Jackson was in his New Jack Swing era. He linked up with Teddy Riley, and it was a rap.
Yeah. And Teddy Riley was like, "Why do you want to do New Jack Swing? That's kind of over with." But Mike, they say Mike was always trying to be down, and I don't want to use down like that, but try to be in the now. But he was so big that sometimes he would catch a wave kind of late because he was on tour for 20 years off of Thriller still, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's hard to really catch up with. Like, think if Mike was Mike now, and he'd probably be looking for like Pharrell and Swiss Beats to do an album or something like that.
I'll be damned.
Pharrell did a beat for Mike.
Yeah, he did one on Invincible. I want to say it was the Invincible album.
Yep.
But that's what all I'm just trying to say is he kind of be whatever that wave is, the sound is, he might be a couple years too late.
And you know what? Because it was Michael Jackson, people didn't care.
Oh,
they were just glad he was there.
Yep.
The story is that even though he later came back and did music with Michael Jackson turned down the Justified songs that ultimately went to Justin Timberlake. Yeah. So he didn't want to do Like I Love You. I was like, dang.
I don't think that would have sounded good. JT did a good job.
Or Rock Your Body,
Now you can tell that was Mike influence, though. You can tell all of that was Mike influence. I mean, but I just don't know if you think. My bad, Tony. You think if Mike would have did the Justified album, it would have been better than Justin Timberlake?
Hell no. Because the whole Justified album isn't just Pharrell. It's also Timberland as well too. So I mean, him turning down. I mean, I can hear Mike on Rock Your Body, because that's a dope song. But I cannot hear Michael Jackson on Let's Take a Ride. Right. Like I can't hear him on that, or I can't hear him on Like I Love You. Like I Love You that was totally a Justin thing. But I could totally hear Mike singing Rock Your Body. Because it was in his scope.
That was right.
And what I also like to, and what also too, what I liked is that, in case y'all didn't know, Michael Jackson, when he was recording his Invincible album, right across the hall, Brandy was recording her Full Moon album at the same time because they came out a year apart. And Michael did background vocals for one of her songs on the Full Moon album, and she did background vocals for one of his songs on the Invincible album. Like, you gotta really hear it. Like, if you listen, you can hear their voices come through on the songs, which I think is dope. Because as big as Michael Jackson was, he was not above doing background vocals for certain artists.
Nope. I mean, he did it for Rockwell.
I'm gonna. He wrote that song.
He wrote listen, that song. As far as I'm concerned, that is a Michael Jackson song featuring Rockwell.
Yeah.
Because nobody really knows Rockwell's parts like that, but as soon as they hear, I always feel like somebody's watching me.
Yeah, every time I hear that,
So
Bilko, he also, my bad, Mika. He that Noriega beat that he also wanted or either he wanted or turned down was the Super Thug beat. What?
Yep, he turned that one down too. Yeah.
I can't hear Michael on that. Like, stop it. I don't want to hear Michael on that.
You gotta go watch. You gotta go watch piece by piece and why Noriega did the what, because that was he would do the what, and then be like one, what, two, what, and then Pharrell was like, keep that. That's the hook. And that's how we ended up with what on Super Thug. Okay, so I had to Google this because I saw it, and I wanted to confirm. But Michael Jackson is on the background vocals of Jay-Z's "Girls, Girls, Girls" Part 2. It's been confirmed that he was singing the
Part 2.
Well, he did bring him out on Summer Jam too. Jay-Z did bring him out at Summer Jam. What was that 2002? He brought him out. And the crowd like legitimately lost.
Yeah, I want to say it was
02. Yeah.
Someone found that footage and put it online a couple years ago, because the thing is, up until that point, everyone only heard about it, but they never saw it.
No, so that was 01.
Someone found that footage and put it online a couple years ago, and that crowd went crazy. And the thing is, Michael Jackson wasn't even performing. He just came out on stage and he said, "What's up?" and left. And people went crazy because, like, it's Michael Jackson. I mean, like, for many people, they never seen him in person. So he came out there. They said he probably got the most applause out of everybody that was there, and he didn't even perform.
Yep. Come on, man. Mike wasn't no joke. I don't think people understand People don't understand Mike, man. I was talking to some, is Ty still in here? I was on Ty's Twitter joint, and I was talking to Michael Jackson, and they was kind of poo-pooing on Mike. I was like, y'all really don't understand what Mike could shut a whole city down. That's how bad Mike was. Let Mike come to your city.
They would shut down malls just so he could go shopping by himself.
Mike didn't play no games.
He had to dress up in disguises just to go out in public so he could.
Some of his disguises are hilarious
and horrible. I think he did it on purpose though.
And that's how we ended up with Ghost. That's how we ended up with Ghost.
Yeah,
because of his disguises.
I said, I feel like people don't put enough respect on Ghost because everyone sees it as the sequel to Thriller, which it kind of is. But Ghost was actually pretty good. And fun fact about Ghost was actually supposed to be a song on the Addams Family soundtrack, but they scrapped it. And
put Hammer on that.
But they put it out on his History album. They just not History. His Blood on the Dance. Was it Blood on the Dance Floor?
Yeah, it was Blood on the Dance Floor.
Dance Floor album.
Poor little Tink Tink.
But it was still good. It was still good. The choreography he did in that was so good and so crisp and so clean.
But that's because Michael was a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Was that an album or was that like just a collection of songs? Because
what, Blood on the Dance Floor?
Yeah, Blood on the Dance Floor.
No, that was an album because he released Blood on the Dance Floor.
Yeah.
Well, I know he released it. I'm just saying, was it? Do y'all count it as an album? Because it don't. How many songs was on that?
I think
it wasn't that many songs on that one.
I think it's like 6 or 7 on that one.
It ain't even coming up for me.
One of my favorite live performances of Michael Jackson was during his Bad tour. I think it was at Wembley when he did Lovely One. When I tell you the amount of energy that man had to dance throughout that whole song, and him and his dancers had a lot of energy to move from the time that song began to the time that song ended. I'm like, if they had Apple Watches back in the day, they would have closed all their rings within the first 5 minutes of them dancing.
It was an EP, but it had a whole bunch of remixes on there.
Yeah, it was Blood on the Dance Floor, History in the Mix. That's what it was. That's what it officially was called. But yeah, that's how we got History and we got Ghost.
Yeah,
and Blood on the Dance Floor.
If Goku needed a spirit bomb, he could have got it out of those people's energy. Like, lend me your energy.
This man literally could pop up out of the floor, just stand there, and they're going crazy. He's just standing there, and then he turns his head, and they get even louder. I mean, these people are fainting before he even sings one song.
Could you imagine paying all that money to see Michael Jackson, and all you saw was him standing on stage, and the next thing you remember is you wake up in the back of an ambulance?
Yeah.
How'd it get here?
Girl, you died.
He killed it, girl. He killed it. Oh, I knew it.
That was $600.
But back then it wasn't $600 to go see Michael Jackson.
It wasn't.
It would. I mean, today's standards, yes, it would cost you about. It would cost you a couple thousand just to be on the floor.
Yeah.
Where you to get smushed.
I wouldn't even want to be at. Fuck no, I'm not. No.
If I'm going to see Mike, I'm gonna be up in the stands where I can sit in my chair and be comfortable.
Right.
No.
Well, let's be real, Mika. Exactly. I was going to say you wouldn't be sitting, you would be standing. At least you had the option to sit, but the down there they can't sit. Like, and he was saying that he said the people didn't want chairs. He said it was like festival style viewing, like much like they do Coachella, because they don't have chairs.
Man,
so
they would have been picking them chairs up, hitting each other. When Mike threw the hat, come on, you know how many people died over that hat?
When he threw that hat, them people was fighting for that hat.
Man,
listen, I mean, I've seen videos where like they opened up the gates and people are sprinting to get to the front. And then you get to the front, and then you pass out, and you don't wasted all your money to go see Michael Jackson, and you only saw him stand on stage for 10 seconds because you died.
Because even at the Super Bowl, were you talking about? He just stood there for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They went crazy. He said, "Woof," and it even went even louder.
I know the people. People was like, I know. He better start performing.
They was
soon.
not about to get Mike off that stage. What they were gonna say?
Wasn't.
Mike, the Bills are ready to play. Like, no,
And then Godfrey,
they gonna catch these cramps today.
Yeah, Godfrey even said that he was like, Michael Jackson saved the Super Bowl. How many times have black people saved something?
Yeah.
So
what? Didn't Living Color save the Super Bowl?
In Living Color saved the Super Bowl.
Well, in Living Color made the NFL wake up because they said y'all Super Bowl halftime shows is trash, so we gonna throw a wrench in there. And they stole all their ratings for the halftime and said, "Oh nah, we ain't about to have a repeat next year." So, Michael, we know you on tour right now, but we are in a crisis. We don't want to have what happened last year.
Right?
Yeah, and the rest is history.
Rest is history indeed. Yep. They weren't gonna pull Mike off that stage.
Exactly, Junior. He saved. Yeah, he was the first artist on MTV, the first black artist, I should say, on MTV.
I ain't gonna say he saved MTV, but he made MTV what it is. I would say he made MTV because MTV was playing videos.
MTV wasn't playing
black videos.
Like they just played. Yeah, they didn't play black music.
Right, but he made it. If MTV owes Mike for what they are today. Yeah,
because I would never seen. I would never see. I was about to say I would never see Run DMC's Christmas song without Michael Jackson.
Speaking of a Jackson, YouTube owes Janet a lot.
In Hollis, Queens.
Where, like,
YouTube
how
owes Janet a lot because when the wardrobe malfunction happened at the Super Bowl, people wanted to keep seeing it over and over again, and the people who made YouTube accredited their creation to that incident.
Well, I guess back then that was something, but it wasn't even nothing. If you go look at that,
I know CBS phones was ringing off the hook when that happened.
Oh, Justin Timberlake act like he didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, listen. I feel
I
like
will never forget when
that
happened.
It was all part of it because
I think so too.
Randomly had it jeweled and covered up.
Yeah, it was covered up.
It was covered up.
Just that part. I kind of wanted to see the other.
I'm just
other
saying,
side of it.
if it was an accident, she wouldn't. It wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have had no jewel on it. It would have been out there. We'd have been like,
there wasn't no reason for her to have that with what she had on. Wasn't no reason to have it.
I think the light. I think whoever was in charge of the lights for that portion of it failed. They missed their mark because the lights was supposed to cut off as soon as he was ripping away, and then we would have never seen it. But whoever was working the lights that day was like, yeah, so Terry, oh snap.
He was betting on the game. That's what it was. Betting on the game. You missed your cue, man. You missed your cue.
Now the other story I heard was that it was something she had, because if you notice the outfit she had on, it was a leather outfit, but it had like where her chest is at, it was like a red bra or something like that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the leather part was supposed to come off, and the red bra was covering her breast, but it pulled off both of them. Because if you look at Justin's face, he was looking shocked too, like, huh? So,
I watched it a couple of times.
I was gonna say I've watched it a couple of times
all
too.
did.
And I didn't see the shock on his face. I didn't see shock on his face. And
he looked like it was part of the show.
Even if he had ripped it, right? And he had ripped the bra too. Do you know how much force you have to have in order to rip a bra?
Right. And she didn't move like it. It was like snaps. Like, because if that was, she didn't move at all. Like, she did her part. Justin came over to her. They was, and he did that, and she didn't move. It was
what I didn't like though was that she caught all the hell behind it, and he didn't.
Yep.
I mean, I feel like in that moment, Justin should have stepped up and said, "Hey, you know what? I messed up too." Like, I mean, but he didn't, because he was still trying to protect his bubblegum self, but he also had just dropped Justified as well too. So he was trying to he was like, "Hey, I'm trying to save face over here." And if she's taking all the blame right now, but I feel like that was a disservice on his part to not jump in and say, "You know what? We both messed up." Like, it was a part. It was a part of it.
Her career took a hit behind that.
Yeah.
I don't think her career took a hit behind that.
Oh, it
took
did.
It took a slight hit. Yeah.
Like, she literally, she ended up getting she had an album that was getting ready to drop, and they didn't push it because of that. As a matter of fact, she ended up getting a ban from going to the Grammys after that for a while.
When did Janet, that So Def album that Janet did.
Yeah.
And to this day, a lot of Janet Jackson fans still don't like Justin Timberlake because of that. Like, they say all these years passed, but you really never gave a true apology, so to speak, about it.
Right. Like, if he would have just stepped up to it and said,
And what's his name? The former CEO of CBS, Les Moonves. He got a lot of nerve to do what he did, because a lot of skeletons fell out of his closet years later about some shady stuff he was doing with some of them women.
That was
that's why he's not the CEO anymore. If y'all familiar with the woman Julie Chen, that's her husband.
Julie Chen, yeah.
And I think she caught the most of it because that was a sexy Janet phase. So she was, all about showing off her body, and she had put in that work, and she wasn't little Penny anymore. She wanted to prove a point.
Listen. If we want to talk about something, Mika, do you remember the Velvet Rope tour special on HBO back in the day?
Yes, I do. And that's why I said that's probably the reason why she caught so much heat, was because she was
already being looked at as that.
Yeah, she was being looked at as her album cover was her with somebody covering up her titties. So, like,
this would have been what is that? The Demita Joe album?
No, her Janet album.
No, he's talking about the album that came out after the
Demita Joe album.
Demita Joe didn't do that well.
And it was still a good album. That's the crazy part. It was still a good album.
It was just the optics.
Yeah.
That's she hooked back. She hooked back up with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis for that album. Man.
That's the time when she was dating Jermaine Dupri.
That too.
That kind of knocked her career too. So it was like, you letting this little ugly
Stop it.
They was, you know, I ain't lying.
Dre's not lying. Dre is not lying.
That
I
ain't
remember
not
a lot of
They
people
was looking
saying
at Janet
with him.
real
Like that's literally what
crazy.
people was saying. That's how people was
Yeah,
saying.
they was looking at Janet real crazy for letting Jermaine Dupri knock you.
Yeah, what they said was like they were trying to say that he was like the rebound guy to help her out because of what she was going through at the time. Like she didn't really love him
Rebound
like that.
from who?
But I think they actually was really loved each other. They said the reason that they broke up was because he cheated on her, and that's what made them.
And then we were really
because
like,
they were together.
That?
Because they were together much longer than people thought they would be together for.
Oh yeah, Demeter Joe didn't do that good.
Nah, neither did
that's just
the one that the album that he produced didn't do that good neither.
That's was, just like when
20, All For You.
20YO. No, 20YO. Which was the next album after Demeter.
Yeah, 20YO didn't do good.
Yeah, see, all of that was stemmed from that Super Bowl incident.
But that's what I'm saying. Like when she did the Super Bowl, what Super Bowl was 2004? You said, Blue?
Yeah, 04.
So we way past Janet. We way past All For You.
Oh yeah, she was on the down.
We way past Velvet Rope.
I don't think that hurt her because I just think she was on the downswing. And she was trying to find her. She was still Janet because she's a Jackson, right? But she was trying to find her second win. Or would that be? No, this would be her third win. Would this be her third win? Second win?
Nah, she had 7 albums under her belt by the time she did the Super Bowl.
Right. But I'm just saying, because most artists, you got your highs and lows. That's all I'm saying. And
yeah, her highs was Janet album, Velvet Rope, All For You, and then the Super Bowl incident happened, and then that's when she fell.
Yep.
Well, let's not discount her Control and Rhythm Nation album too.
Oh no, that's that to me.
That was Janet her on the upswing. That was her on the upswing. Yeah, Control was like the start. Rhythm Nation kept carrying her, and then Janet skyrocketed her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Rhythm Nation was that. Woo, that was peak up, boy.
Rhythm Nation.
I can't tell you how many. I can't tell you how many women and girls was dressing like her for Halloween and still are with that same. That's a classic fit, though.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
That's how
I forgot Design of a Decade. Forgot about that one.
Oh yeah, that was her greatest hits album.
Yeah, and then she released Runaway and 24 Play. And The Best Things in Life Are Free on that one.
The best thing. I remember that on the Mo Money soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's so crazy? I now know what I was so shocked to find out what the 1814 stood for in Rhythm Nation. I said, "Oh, that was real clever." The Rhythm Nation, because R is the 18th letter in the alphabet, and N is the 14th letter, so 1814. So I was like, okay.
Rhythm Nation.
That's something you knew you learn every day because I didn't know that. That's the first time I heard that.
I didn't know that.
Didn't know that.
I saw her on tour though. She still put on a dope ass tour.
I remember she came to my job a few years ago, and she still does a good job.
Yeah, she still do a good job. She still can. I'm like Janet. What Janet? Like what? She's about 69.
Like Janet is or near it.
She's 59.
59, yeah, I'm about to say.
Yeah, so I think she'll be 16. She'll be 60 next year because she's a Taurus like me, May 16th, 1966. And come to think of it, come to think of it,
the shade.
Katherine Jackson and Jackie Jackson are born on the same day as me because they both share the same birthday. Imagine mother and son sharing the same birthday.
You ain't celebrating nothing.
There's a lot of famous Tauruses because Chris Brown birthday the day after mine, May 5th. The Rock's birthday is the day before mine, May 3rd. Or is it May 2nd? It was one of the two.
I don't know. I only have one birthday twin.
Look, I share a birthday with Serena Williams. And who's in front of me and behind me? Will Smith and T.I. So one over explains himself, one under explains himself. And we're like, entanglement.
And then also we got one for me as far as a Taurus. We got someone at the tail end of the line right before Gemini kicks in, and that's Brother Malcolm, May 19th.
Brother Malcolm.
So he was
what can I do for you today, Brother Malcolm?
On the
cusp.
What's good on? Hey, listen, don't sleep on them bean pies.
I'm good.
Bean pies are good. I don't know what you're talking about. Bean pies are so good. For those of y'all out there, y'all ain't lit. Oh, thank you. Bean pies are good.
Hold up. So I just wanted to just throw this in the air real quick, and I might put this on X. I put X up here, but this is what Fox News has said, and I had to respond to this. Super woke
News.
Super woke displayed on Fox News with Jesse Waters joking that MS-13 is written on Superman's cape. Absolutely disgusting behavior. They put super woke, iconic hero movie to embrace pro-immigrant themes.
Not
did they read the whole? Did they read the whole quote? Because
look, people, and that's why I said people want to repeat the rhetoric. Pack you up. Get up out.
Pack him up, son.
For anyone that don't know who Jesse Waters is, I'll just say this: he's the guy that replaced Tucker Carlson. That is all you need to know.
Yeah.
Boo,
pack him up,
Tucker Carlson. So you know Tucker Carlson. He is his replacement.
Oh, Tucker Carlson out here. Tucker Carlson out here.
There he is. I was about to say, he was
taking names.
He packed up what you call it.
Yeah, Tucker interviewing everybody now, calling folks
but
out.
No, but he going straight for the jugular. Like he ain't on Fox News no more.
I'm telling you. I be like this. I've been missing out on Tucker. What Tucker been going in like? But he wasn't doing that on Fox though.
Yeah, he was like, I ain't on Fox News no more. Ted Cruz, you gonna answer these questions?
That's just like Dunn Lim. Once they all left whatever respective companies they was on, and you get to see them what they really think. Like I'm waiting on Joy Reid to have her moment because I did not like Joy Reid on MSNBC. Not like her.
Not Saturn rings.
Saturn.
You know I got to because her neck. I call her Joy Saturn rings around the neck Reed. I got a nickname for everybody.
I did not like her on there. I didn't. I just didn't. Cause she, I don't know.
Y'all laughing because now y'all thinking about like, wow, that woman do got some rings on them.
To her neck.
Now that I haven't paid attention to her neck, all I can think about now is what her neck looks like.
You talking about not Saturn ring? I mean, soon as you said
rings around the neck, Reed.
The neck, I see it, but that's crazy you said that.
Yeah, like I said, I got a nickname for almost every. You know how black folk be. We got a nickname for everybody.
That's crazy.
Arpico, you are right. You are right. All right.
It's coming. It's coming.
If they do, if they go all in with the X-Men, yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I want to see how are they just gonna stop like an X-Men, because I mean it's about a race of people. You can't help but be political with it. You know what I'm saying? So
I would argue and say that X-Men is probably one of the first comics out there to really, I guess you can say, go in that direction. I mean, they kind of had no choice.
Yeah, no, there is no choice for that. You gotta do that, and that's what I'm saying. Like with the X-Men, I don't see how there ain't no way around.
Look at when the X-Men came out. It came out during the Civil Rights Movement. I mean, it couldn't get much more blatant than that.
Yeah, absolutely. But we gotta go ahead and do this.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that up, B.
Cause we going on 3 hours. I woke up and I ain't ate. I ain't nothing.
Oh, I know what time it is. Blue and Draymond know about to say. Y'all know what time it is. It's Ovaltine shot time.
Look, I'm
glad I'm not included in this conversation. Look at God. Only do it. Only God can do it.
I'll take an Ovaltine shot right now if I can myself.
Ovaltine. You know what? I'm gonna do an Ovaltine commercial for my little break. Like I got the little thing, I'm gonna do an Ovaltine commercial.
All right, we're getting ready to wrap this thing up. You said, "Oh yeah, can I get a cinematic nightmares?" Excuse me.
Say it slowly.
Excuse me. Cinematic Nightmares podcast. Cup. I did say that. Cinematic Nightmares.
The cinematic.
Cinematic Nightmares. Can I get a Cinematic Nightmares?
Not Hawaiian.
Can I get a Hawaiian sweet roll cup? for Mark.
You playing, you're gonna end up with one.
Hawaiian sweet roll cup.
No, it just be a Hawaiian.
It's gonna be one roll on there.
In Japanese letters.
Taste the biscuits.
Taste the roll.
Why is that song stuck in my head? Like sometimes I just be randomly walking around saying, "Taste the biscuits with the honey sauce." I just be randomly just start singing.
I blame Dre for that popping up on
I appreciate it.
On my Instagram.
Dre and his honey biscuits propaganda that he's out here pushing.
Good. I love it. Matter of fact, if more biscuits can be sold because of me, thank me later on. I sold the biscuit industry.
Talking about KFC biscuits, dude.
I know. So if more they just like taste a bit. If you can't get to KFC, get some Churches. If you can't get to Churches, get some biscuits.
I think what's crazy about it is the fact that there's so many versions of that song. Like you got the dance version, you got the gospel version, you got the elevator music version. I'm ready. I'm ready for the hip hop version one.
Look, keep playing with me. I'm gonna get Toaster and Moose on the track. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let's do this real quick. You know what I'm saying? What? Take some biscuits, down. What? All right, I'm getting sleepy.
It's been another episode of the Blurred AF Experience.
Thank you so very much for tuning in.
Hey, y'all remember the cartoon about the toaster? I know we're leaving, man, but I don't know why they just...
Or the movie about the little toaster that could.
Yeah, the little toaster. Y'all remember that? I don't know why that just came to my head, man. Let's leave, because maybe it's that time, man. My bad.
It's that time. All right, y'all. Thank you so very much for tuning in to another episode. Matter of fact, what do you guys got next so we can wrap this up? Started with Mika.
Damn, why you gotta start with me?
Just
doing something on the toaster that could as the horror movie.
Yeah.
It is not a horror movie. It makes you cry. I got an episode dropping tomorrow. We talk Megan 2.0. Yeah, I'm a full advocate for that movie. I'll be also recording a video for next week, and then I'm gonna be on vacation because bye. And
you coming to Fly Socks and Tees?
I want to be a Fly Socks and Tees. Yep, going on vacation. So top 5 will be dropping this Sunday, and then you will not get one the following Sunday because I will be on vacation. I will be on somebody's beach drinking a Mai Tai. Top 5 this week is going to be, what did I say? I can't remember. Just look out for the YouTube short.
I did enjoy the last top 5 that you did with the anthology series. And how did I know Tales from the Hood was going to be number 1? I was sitting there literally listening to you get to 2, and I was like, I know Tales from the Hood better be in there. I don't know how she going to slip it in. And she said, I was like, yes.
Because I'm black, y'all. I'm bliggity bliggity black. I mean, there's plenty of anthology movies that could have made it, but Tales from the Hood is always
because I didn't know what a wraparound was until Mika G mentioned that. I was like, a wraparound? I never heard of that term in film before.
Yeah, a wraparound story is the story that wraps around the whole anthology. But a lot of anthology movies nowadays don't use wraparounds. They just embed it within each other, like A Christmas Horror Story and Trick or Treat.
No.
Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and Game Night. August.
When's game night again?
August the 9th is going to be Camp Scissorhands. And it's going to be counted.
Like Bow Chicka Wow Wow.
Nah. I'm an ambassador for Ambi Scissorhands. So
I know,
for the summer, she's doing Camp Scissorhands. So it's going to be camp counselors versus campers in a Family Feud type game.
Oh, come on down. Okay.
And I should be available for this so I can win my Cinematic Nightmare Cup.
Cinematic Nightmares. I got Blues News, whatever's gonna be in the news that day or whatever, and I gotta do my Jurassic Park review video that'll be dropping. So that's what I got coming up.
Torian, what you got?
A lot, but I'll be tomorrow. I'll be talking about this 22-year-old white DEI hire. He ended up getting a job for the Department of Homeland Security in their terrorism division, and his background is in gardening and something else. I'll also be talking about the south of the Bordarian and how they still upset because they can't say the N-word. And I will be going to see Superman tomorrow as well. And I'll have the review up for that on Thursday.
South of the Bordarian.
Oh yes, I told you I got a nickname for everybody in it. For certain people, certain groups too, and that's my nickname for them, the South of the Bordarian.
That is hilarious.
South of the Bordarian.
And then tomorrow, I think I'm gonna talk about the casting of Street Fighter. I'm trying to.
That is the weirdest. Ain't that the weirdest?
The weirdest cast I've ever.
It's like they don't want it to win. They do not.
Or they want to remake 1994's version. But I'm either going to talk about that, or I'm going to talk about
good.
Ain't got good.
Yeah. Either I'm
talking about the only casting I can see that they got right is the actress that they cast for Chun-Li. Outside of that, I don't see it much.
I don't mind 50 as
else.
Balrog. I don't mind 50 as Balrog. Everything else is weird to me. Well, no. Also, I don't mind the dude who's playing Ryu. Who was that? What was he from? That's the guy from Warrior, right? I want to say that's the guy from Warrior.
Yeah, it's the guy from Warrior.
Everybody else, I'm like, what in the world? Andrew Schultz? Really?
Oh, I'm already. See, you shouldn't have told me that. Now I don't want to see it. I can't stand Andrew Schultz. Why?
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm either going to talk about that, or I'm going to do something leading up to Superman. So I'm trying to figure it out. But, just stay tuned. And now that I can't go nowhere, I might be doing some videos. So I'm sorry.
And the top 5 will be horror movies that traumatize a generation.
Oh, Exorcist got to be on that list.
Oh, hold on, wait a minute. I just thought about this.
Curse of the
Ironheart, I think, was the end of Phase 5.
Yeah,
I believe
Ironheart was the end of Phase 5.
The end of Phase 5, where I might do my top 5. I might do a video for my top 5 MCU projects out of Phase 5. So.
Oh, and Dre, I have 2 videos that I'm uploading on Tuesday.
Oh, I got that reaction video too. I forgot.
But the 2 videos I'm uploading on Tuesday, I actually want you and Blue, if you can, to react to both of them. Trust me.
All right.
On this.
All right, just already know. Send it to me, and we go from there. All right, so that's it. That's it for me. For Mika G, for Blue, for our guest Toria Ray Reloaded. This has been a Blurred AF. Thank you again so very much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to each and every one of our channels, and don't forget to hit that bell notification so you can never ever miss one of our videos again. Until next time, I'll let you guys later. Peace and vibe power, man. We got to get up out of here. I am hungry.
Tell them what to do.
He said what?
I said tell them what to do.
I'm not telling him that because Diddy just got off. I ain't telling him that. All right, y'all.